Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 296. We're missing Miss Click tonight. She's not feeling too well, so send her some good vibes over on Twitter. But I do have a bunch of other people here. We're also missing Max. I don't know where Max went. He'll probably be in at some point. I don't know. He has to talk some smack on Callisto Protocol, I think. But we still have a bunch of people here. We got some stuff to go over, which includes the Game Awards. Of course, we had a bunch of reveals. Awards were given out. I feel like most people don't remember half the awards that were given out, but we had some pretty good reveals there. Definitely, I think it might have been a little better. Definitely better than last year, actually. Year before that, debatable, because at one point we had an entire system revealed to us. We also had Nintendo and Microsoft reaching an agreement on Call of Duty. We'll see how that works out. And Microsoft versus the FTC is the new topic, as it looks like the FTC is suing to block Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Let me go around here, though. We're going to start with, from my right to left here, we have Sean, RGT85. How are we doing tonight?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. We're doing the after show, right?
Yeah, we'll do the after show.
My eyebrows always look like this, Sean.
No, it looks more pronounced tonight.
I think it might be the camera angle I have here.
Okay, maybe. It looks like you got a dot in the middle. I didn't know if you picked up a new religion or something over the week.
No, not me.
Just check it. I like to check it out, my friends.
After show though tonight.
Yeah, we'll do the after show for a little bit.
Okay, after show, that'll work. So we'll run that when we're done, when we wrap up here, and I'm sure all kinds of fun will happen there. Thank you, Sean.
I'm sure. No problem.
We got OJ, Player Essence. How you doing, OJ?
Good. Sorry for we started the pre-show a bit late, so sorry about that, guys. But yeah, even for starting late, there was hella people there, so thank you guys for coming out to the pre-show. Appreciate it.
Good to have OJ here. We got MVG.
Hello. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Good to have MVG here. We got Jordan Fringe.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Good to see Jordan. We have Nate the Hate. Nate, how we doing?
Dark day.
Why? What happened?
Portugal was defeated by Morocco in the World Cup. Very disappointing performance by Portugal. Many opportunities were had that they did not capitalize on. Very disappointing. But in lighter news, I am once again the Black Content Creator of the Year.
Boo!
I take
recount.
It was a sweep. It was unanimous. The jury has spoken.
We still don't even know what Nate looks like. We think he's we have a possible sketch or picture of him, right, Jordan?
I know what he looks like. I can pick him out.
Okay.
Is he black?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, is that the two-time there for you, Nate?
Two-time
champion. Wow.
He ain't three-peating.
I'm going back to that. Going for the hat trick.
For those that are wondering, the Black Keely Awards went down. So if you haven't seen the Black Keely Awards 2022, check out. Just type it in on YouTube. Black Keely Awards 2022.
Yeah, go check it out on OJ's channel. It was good.
Is it on my channel? Oh, it is on my channel. Okay.
go check it out over there. We have and we got Evan. Evan's here. He's at a LAN party. We'll see if he's back in time for the start of 2023. But he has good internet, so I don't think we're gonna have any interruptions. I say that now and watch us have like ridiculous interruptions. But it's good to have Evan here. He's pushed to talk, so he'll pop in occasionally. You'll hear him. So let's start here with, we also have Manscaped. Shout out to Manscaped for sponsoring the podcast tonight. I'll talk a little bit more about them and how you can impress all your friends at the Smash tournament later on tonight. Let's start with
just go around and be like, hey, look at my pubes.
No, but if you have but if you're all cleaned up and stuff at Smash, man, you can
Sean,
impress
are you
everyone.
You show
there.
kids your pubes? What's happening?
Yeah, hold on, Sean, hold on.
I was asking a question. I'm
just saying, let's. We're gonna get in trouble here.
We're not even 9
we
minutes.
Are Sean.
There's an entire after show for that show.
We're gonna get in trouble.
Let's go to a Discord question actually here from Texas Toast. When your family or significant other learned you were going to work full-time as a content creator, what was their reaction?
Who did I tell? Who was the
Family, significant other, basically anyone close to you that would hide their judgment, I guess.
good luck?
Yeah, that's actually kind of what it was too. It's
Pretty much.
good luck.
Hope you're making a smart decision. Hope it works out.
Call me if you need help.
Yeah. Mine was one of those Star Fox good lucks, or like, what's that guy? He goes, good luck, and nobody believed it. It was one of those like fading off. Good luck, you're gonna be broke. One of those.
Dan asks, what are some underrated DS games that are not RPGs? Oh, underrated that are not. Oh, Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden is super good. I would say Tony Hawk's American Skateland. Tony Hawk's American Skateland on there is actually very fun.
Yeah.
Instead of doing a realistic art style, they did a cell shaded art style, and it looks really good. And back in the day, it used to have online play with up to 4 people, so you could play online with people. Obviously, it doesn't have that now, but I'm sure it's super cheap. Somebody said Cop the Recruit. I love that game. That game is a technical
Cop the Recruit.
They're like a GTA game too.
Well, there's Chinatown Wars, but Cop the Recruit is like a 3D GTA style game. It's one of the most impressive visual games on the DS, like by far. I don't know how the hell they did it, but it's like a fully realized like 3D open-esque world. Hotel Dusk, of course.
All the Castlevania trilogy.
Okay.
Medios. If you like puzzle games, Medios is amazing. Super good soundtrack too.
Castlevania is really good on the DS. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh,
that's like
absolutely
incredible on the DS.
Tecmo Bowl Kickoff is actually really good too.
Elite
Oh, there's a Tecmo Bowl game?
Yeah, Tecmo Bowl Kickoff.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
It plays
What was MPG gonna say too?
Elite Beat Agents.
Oh yeah, Elite Beat Agents is awesome.
I need to play that
What
Tecmo
about
Bowl game.
Feel the Magic?
Oh gosh.
What about Sprung?
How many, I'm curious, what's the count on DS games? Like how many were there?
A lot.
I feel like there was a ridiculous amount, right?
That's a lot.
Like PS2 level amounts. Okay. We'll just move into the game awards because there was a lot that happened there. I would say there was definitely like quantity of announcements as opposed to that one huge announcement like one year where we had the Xbox Series X unveiled to us. But I feel like it moved along better than it ultimately looked on paper because that thing was still 3.5 hours. Because the pre-show was half an hour long, and I thought this was going to be a shorter show. It was. I think it was. I think it was the same as last year.
Freaking Christopher Judge. Chris Judge took up 30 minutes himself. That's why it was so long.
Well, the stream we did over on my channel, I think the runtime was 4.5 hours.
Jeez.
Damn.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I'm sure people were streaming for even longer than that on a couple channels. Like OJ, you probably streamed for 5 hours, maybe.
The runtime 5 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah. Wow.
5 hours and 20.
It just kept going. It did, and it seemed like they were trying to like once Christopher Judge finished his speech, Jeff was going a mile a minute with his speech. He was going really fast, trying to get to the next thing.
You would think that he won like Lifetime Achievement Award or something like that.
Well, we were talking about they were trying to play him off with the music. Because they slowly raised the music volume, and it seemed like it was encouraging him, like he thought the dramatic effect was coming in with it, and that was an interesting moment there.
For every minute he was up there, his chin was getting more pronounced. I just noted. I was just focusing in. It was every minute it was just getting more and more bold. He was happy being up there.
Well, it was interesting because they were giving away a Steam Deck every minute, so I'm like, wait a minute, does that affect that? But
yeah.
What were you saying, Sean?
Well, I was gonna say, his attire was fantastic.
Yep, and he got to be up there with the legend.
I thought it was funny that afterwards he said he didn't get a chance to thank his wife, and it's like, motherfucker, you should have done that in like the first minute. Like,
Stop with that, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my bad. I forgot someone. It's like, okay.
Comes home with his award, is sleeping on the couch. Boom.
Oh man.
Yeah. Already in the doghouse.
Nah, I'd be like, who paid for this house?
That's what you would do.
He gave
I
that
would.
he gave that speech as if it was like a career ending, like last time, you're giving a performance type speech, like
last
you see like a
hurrah.
legacy actor is at the Oscars, like this is their final performance role, they win, so they get like a 10-minute monologue about their career. And I don't know, it felt weird to start off the night with that long of a speech, which, hey, congratulations to him, but and also all the people who got Steam Decks because of it.
I'm very quickly looking through the pre-show. I know we had the Dead Cells Castlevania crossover DLC, which that's pretty good. That's
that
a
was
really
awesome.
cool reveal,
Yeah.
right?
I agree.
Anyone who's going back to Dead Cells for that? Anyone?
Absolutely.
Check it out.
Okay.
Although you can't play as Richter and Alucard.
Oh.
They help you, and you can dress.
Oh.
You can dress up, at least from the features that I read, unless I'm wrong. But it seems like they help you. And
Okay.
give you, like, you can have items and weapons, and you can dress up as them, but you can't actually play as them. But they will help you. They will show up and help you throughout your journey. But maybe if you beat the game, that maybe they're trying to not maybe.
That's how I thought it was like, hey, you're playing as I'm going through. Okay,
Yeah, that's
well,
what I thought too. That's what I thought too at first.
I guess even a costume change is like, that's kind of fun. Okay. It does have that Castlevania feel to it. So it seemed like it would make sense. Let's see. We had Returnal going to PC. We've known about that for what feels like 2 years now or something, but due out early 2023. Actually, Sony had a couple PC announcements here. So they had Returnal and they had The Last of Us Part 1. So they're making that push. Hellboy. This was a surprise, nice surprise. Hellboy it's just a brand new game. It looked, from what they were showing, it was mostly the CG trailer for it, but I thought it looked pretty good overall. At least something to keep an eye on. I wasn't expecting Hellboy.
It's a roguelike game.
Interesting. How did they?
It's a roguelike game that's based off of the comic. It's like with the original person and like the comics where things interchange in like 1962, then a number of years later. I read the description on what the game was, but yeah, it's a roguelike game.
How did they end up in
3D
that?
roguelike.
That's interesting. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. All right then. Let's see what else. Oh, Viewfinder was pretty cool. That's where they were taking pictures of things with like the Polaroid, and it would spit out a picture and it would change what was happening in front of you, and it like became 3D. That looks like an awesome puzzle, or it's a first-person puzzle game.
That
That's
game
cool.
looks really, really cool. I like the premise of it, and I think it's PS5 exclusive, or at least console exclusive.
PS5 and PS4, it says, yeah. So it's just coming to PlayStation. I assume that's one of their, I guess, indie pushes on Sony's side.
Yeah, it looks fantastic, and hopefully the concept is fresh and unique for several hours, and it doesn't get too tiring. But that trailer was really engaging, and it definitely has my interest.
It's because it has that mind-bending look to it. That's just what they showed in the trailer. I imagine they have some really wild stuff midway through the game.
Yeah,
so
it has that MC Escher or even like Echo Chrome type thing going
Kind of
for it.
reminded
where
me of
it's
those puzzles in Hellblade where you got to be in the right spot to line everything up, to unlock whatever. So I think it's kind of cool, the mechanic they're going for here.
I do want to, before we move away from the pre-show, I do want to give a shout out to Replace. They didn't have much else to announce here for it, but it still looks good. Still coming next year. So hopefully everything gets sorted with that, because I know they had to delay it due to some of the conflict that was happening with Ukraine and Russia. Let's move up to the main show, which had Hades 2. Hades 2 is coming out in 2023. They showed it, and I didn't know if this was new or if this was DLC or what, and then they gave us the logo, and it's like, okay, cool. It makes a lot of sense to do a Hades 2 after the success of the first one.
Oh yeah, they looked at their bank account and they were like, yeah.
I mean, the name alone is like, oh, okay, cool. This will work. And the early access next year, and they'll probably eventually launch on the Switch after that, I assume, when they come out in like full 1.0 version.
Very excited for Hades 2. I love the first one, and this one's going to make it even better. So it's going to be the same game plus way more stuff that they couldn't fit into the original game. And I love the main character design. Like, their designs for their main characters are always really good. Like Supergiant, like they always have really cool designs for their main characters. We had Judas. This is from the creator of BioShock, Ken Levine.
and it definitely looks like BioShock.
Yes.
It has that art style to it.
I was hyped. I thought this looked incredible. There's like BioShock's like the only first-person shooter that doesn't make me nauseous. Because like the big, bright, like weird, like it's not like completely realistic, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe it's like BioShock Infinite. That's probably like one of my favorite first-person shooters ever. So I was like, yo, this is like a mix between like some like Infinite style and then also like the original BioShock, but it's like own thing. Like I like Ken Levine. I think he's dope, but he just hasn't been around for a while. He hasn't made anything for a long time. So
it definitely had that Infinite feel in there.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't really know what was going on in the trailer though. I mean that's purposeful. They show you out of context stuff and all this, and eventually they'll explain it. But it kind of looks like it'll have that same sort of idea and world building behind it that they did in BioShock.
PS5 and Xbox Series. It's like only current gen, so that's I'm ready for that.
I assume it's not out until maybe 2024. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be a while, but it'll be worth it, man. We haven't had BioShock in a long time. We haven't had a new like big BioShock game since when was Infinite? That was like what 2012, 2013.
It kind of reminds me how we had Callisto and we have this Dead Space remake next to each other. Like I wouldn't be shocked if Judas maybe even comes out within the same year as that new BioShock game, unless that's like way off. That's currently in development. So that'll be an interesting comparison when that happens. But it looks very creative and interesting. So not as much to go off on the trailer, but we'll keep an eye on it. Bayonetta Origins. This is coming out March 17th. So we didn't have a release date for it. And I was not expecting another Bayonetta game.
I wasn't expecting it at all. Like, I'm like,
what was the title? Bayonetta Origins Cash Grab?
Cereza and the Lost Demon
for $60.
I was close.
Yeah,
I was close.
$60 for that. An
isometric.
It'll run better than Bayonetta 3. There you go. There's the silver lining.
It's like an isometric adventure action game. I'm not 100% sure on the.
Yeah, it's the if you've played Bayonetta 3, there's like these secret missions.
Yeah,
there's some stuff that kind of represents that. So I guess they're kind of like really exploring the rest of that, with Cereza, and before what happened. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Okay, cool. Then we had
horrible.
Thanks, Sean.
I think it's just because it's so weird how much of a deviation it is. Like Bayonetta is known for flashy action mechanics, and this looks like for lack of a better term, like a game geared for a younger audience, and it's like
an indie game. It's like a smaller indie looking game. Like absolutely, like I can see why, because there's never been any spin-offs. Bayonetta doesn't get like the smaller type of games. They get like always like the big action game, so. And
for $60, like because when that came up, I was kind of bashing it, and then when the chat told me it was $60, I was like, what?
It's just another case of Travis Strikes Back.
But Travis Strikes Back wasn't a full price game.
Yeah, that wasn't
fair point. That is a fair point.
That's true. It was 40, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it'll be discounted. You can just wait. You'll be able to get it for cheaper much later, like most games.
Yeah, we'll see how that one turns out. Hey, don't have to wait too long. Just 3 months. So we'll see how it turns out there. This one surprised me a little, caught me off guard because I did not think this was the Ghostbusters game that we were seeing here. Because Sean, there was that Ghostbusters game that came out recently that you didn't like. I don't think Max liked it very much either. Basically, I heard mixed reviews on it. Yeah. But this one, Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord for MetaQuest 2 and PlayStation VR 2 in 2023 looks like the Ghostbusters game that I think a lot of people were hoping to get.
Yeah, it looks like it's a story-driven game instead of just a random multiplayer game that has just I'm still perplexed that game, because if you look at the Ghostbusters game that came, I can't remember the subtitle, Spirits Unleashed. If you look at Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed reviews, like so many people liked it, and they're like, "Oh, it's great if you're a Ghostbusters fan." I was like, besides Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson, who play very minimal roles in it, there's nothing that really feels like the locations are completely random. Most of the ghosts, except for like the Slimer skin, is completely random. So this definitely made me a lot more excited, and I will be playing this on my MetaQuest because I need to get some play out of that.
Okay,
well, also PSVR too. So
can we talk about the remixed music on there, the Ghostbusters theme that was playing?
I I didn't.
Oh
I
my
didn't notice,
god,
I
it
didn't
was
notice
so
that.
good. Did
Maybe
you guys
because
didn't notice it?
Sean might have been yelling.
Yeah, I was kind of excited for
He
that.
was
Go
pretty
back
excited
and
for
listen to the remix, the theme. It is freaking incredible.
Okay.
It's
I'm
so
hoping
good.
I have the PSVR 2 when this is out because this might be a PSVR 2 pickup.
Matter. I have the. Do I have the? Wait, no, I think I have the first one. I don't have one. I want to play it though.
MetaQuest 2. MetaQuest 2, it's a good headset. It is
Or do
all
I
in
have
one, the whole
MetaQuest?
thing.
No,
It's,
I don't. I have the first.
it's a good headset. But if I'm gonna have the PSVR 2, I'm probably gonna be looking for any games to play on that thing just based on the lineup right now. So might be a PSVR 2 pickup. We'll see. We'll see. Otherwise, Oculus Quest 2 will grab it there. Destiny 2 expansion, Lightfall. And then we had Suicide Squad show up again. I'm trying to figure this game out right now. They showed Batman. By the way, Kevin Conroy still going to be voicing this. I assume all his lines were done and everything. So RIP to Kevin Conroy. Good to have his voice in I guess one last production here with Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. I'm not really sure what this game is. Does anyone know what this game is?
No.
No.
We've only had like what this little ounce of what we assume is like what the game is going to be like from like a while back, and I don't know. My only issue with one, awesome that Kevin is involved. I think that's really cool, and I'm glad that they showed that off as a tribute. But based on the story of the game and killing the Justice League, what is the pacing of this game? How short is this game? Because the last time we saw them was before they fought the Flash, and now this is clearly after they fight the Flash and they run into Batman right away. There's not that many full major Justice League team members, the main core lineup specifically. That'd be pretty fast to jump from one boss fight to the next boss fight. Is this game like 3 hours long?
I like
So
the
I'm
premise.
confused.
I like the idea. I think
cool.
it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
I don't really know what the gameplay like. I think we've seen flashes of gameplay. I mean, like 1 or 2 seconds at a time in the previous showing, but they haven't gone over the mechanics or anything else really, or as you say, how they're going to fight the Justice League necessarily. You feel like Superman shows up and it's over, or even Wonder Woman or Batman even. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work out, and they haven't shown us much other than, I mean, it is a good CG trailer. It's great, but that's kind of all we have to go off of it still. It's coming out this year coming up, so maybe it's late 2023. Maybe it's like September, October or something. I don't know. I can't really be concerned until we see the gameplay itself, but it is a little odd. It's Rocksteady though, so we'll see. The Last of Us Part 1 comes out March 3rd, 2023 on PC. Everything is basically going from Sony to PC at this point. So it's accelerating. That's 6 months, isn't it? September to March.
Yeah.
So the window is now 6 months, it appears, for new release on just PS5 game over to PC. And Returnal might show up in February even at this point. So you could have a couple of PC releases in there.
Do you think that they accelerated it because maybe the sales weren't where they wanted it on PS5?
For some of these games, or you mean for Last of Us? Yeah,
The Last of Us.
No, they held back The Last of Us on purpose to coincide closer to the show ending.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, I think they. I think we're going to get to that point where they do a day and date release with their live service game, but I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, 6 months. That's pretty quick. So I don't know. I'm thinking Sony's looking at some numbers and they're like, this PC stuff isn't affecting us that badly in terms of our first party sales on consoles. Maybe we take a shot with something. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be Spider-Man 2, but I don't know, maybe like Wolverine or something. Okay, this was a big show. In fact, this is the game, by the way, which Sean said I couldn't be excited about this game until we got here. This is the game
Because you were getting excited over a picture, and it was and just to clarify, tell everyone what you did on my stream, because this is the real John. Everyone sees the nice John in front of the camera. The real John is like this. What did you do on my stream consistently?
I let everyone know what was coming up on the show in a very responsible manner where I didn't ruin or spoil anything for people.
Spoiled everything over and over again.
No, because eventually I switched over to YouTube and then I stopped saying anything for the first couple of seconds until one of you guys reacted. But for a while there, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Jedi Survivor. By the way, this is the most viewed trailer of the entire show is Jedi Survivor. And with good reason, because the game looks awesome. Jedi Survivor Respawn, obviously building off of what they did with Fallen Order. It's out March 17th. So don't have to wait too long, although we've known about the game, obviously, for a little while now. But I think from what they showed here, it looks, I would say, more fluid. It definitely looks like they spent more time on the combat. It seems you're going to have different lightsaber hilts. You have Kylo Ren's lightsaber. They showed holding dual lightsabers, dual-ended lightsaber. It seems like a lot of customization is going to be going into that side, and it looks like you'll have blasters as well because that was part of the pre-order bonus.
Did they say if that was a last generation game too?
It is only on PS5 and Xbox Series.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear.
Yep.
Very
so
cool.
they're leaving the last gen stuff behind. Which I mean, if it's going to do things like eliminate the constant move through little tunnels and crawlways, although apparently I've been told that's actually a mechanic that these studios may use outside of just load times. But
I love them so much. Like through tight spaces.
Jordan, you played Fallen Order, didn't you?
Yes.
You liked it. Yeah. What do you think about Jedi Survivor?
I'm excited for it. It's, I don't know. I didn't feel like persuaded any more or less from the announcement. I just want the game. I'm glad it's not too far out. So I don't really think I need to see anything on it. I'm in. Like the first game sold me on it. So
Cal looked a lot older here. He had like the beard going. Apparently he's like a Jedi Master now compared to where before he was sort of like still a Padawan kind of growing up in the world.
But does this mean when I start the game that I have to start doing all the progression stuff again?
Oh, that's a good question.
What's going to happen is what always happens in these games. He's powerful, and then something happens. All his powers get stripped away, and you start from nothing.
Gets the Metroid effect.
Just start me off with the game because that's fun. Start me off with the game where I have a lot of make the enemies a little tougher. Give me all my powers.
They should start you with a bunch of powers, but then give you like stupidly powerful stuff as you go through.
I'm fine with that as well.
Right, something like that. I do also wonder if there's gonna be a light and dark side thing too. Like they like to do that with a lot of these different Star Wars games where you deal force powers. You can do light side, dark side, all that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to it. This is good. I'm also curious if they're going to build on the Souls elements more, back away from them some in this. I don't know, because it definitely felt like a Souls game at times with Fallen Order,
which I know a lot of people played the combat that way.
Yeah,
but I absolutely didn't. I was like, it's weird because like everyone's saying, oh, it's like Souls. Like I'm like, I don't know. I'm just kind of messing stuff up. I'm just running around and attacking and dodging. I didn't feel, to me, how I view a Souls game where I've played them before. It did not feel like one to me. But I don't know. I hope it's very similar.
There's like checkpoints and save points, and I mean it's not.
Well, especially in that aspect, yeah. Like it's forgiving, unlike a Souls game.
They just meant that, like like when you die, like your experience or whatever is there, and you got to go back and pick that up. Like that's what they meant. Like there's like a little bit of Souls element. It definitely doesn't. It's not a Souls game to me. Like the way like complete structure. There's just a few elements here and there. I mean, if you play, I will say this. There is a pretty sizable gap between the hard difficulty and the normal difficulty. And like that, it gets incredibly difficult when you play that game on the harder difficulty. So,
yeah, it does.
Yeah, like it is not easy at all. At least I struggled with playing that game and beating it on the harder difficulty. So, I mean, I was getting my ass kicked. I mean, not even that. I was getting destroyed. So there is that. And maybe that's where some of the Soul stuff comes into,
Also, I think it's time to bring Cal Kestis into the actual Star Wars universe at this point. So
I thought he was. Like, I was like, well, no, he's not. But I thought he was for some reason.
Two games under the belt.
A show.
He's a good actor. Go ahead and bring him in. We had Earthblade. This is from the creators of Celeste. So immediately people are paying attention to it because of that. Due out sometime in 2024. It looked still kind of like Celeste, but there was action involved. So you're swinging a sword around, a bit different there. But otherwise, to me, it looked like similar platforming. 2024 still a ways off on that one. Dune Awakening. Jordan, you're into Dune.
I'm
Jordan's
into
a big Dune
Dune.
guy.
I'm not sure. I love that it's like an MMO.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, I have to. Have we seen anything from it besides 2 CGI trailers?
They showed a very small amount of gameplay in that. It was very small. It was them shooting out of a tank or something. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I love Dune. Clearly, they're really visualizing it off of the new movie series.
Right.
So I am into it, but it's, I don't know, committing to an MMO is committing to a lot. So we'll see.
We have the Forspoken, got a demo. It's out now. I downloaded it. Nate, you downloaded it too?
Yeah,
Max downloaded it. I know that, but he's not here, unfortunately. Anyone else get a chance to download it?
Yeah, I downloaded and played it.
No, I'm
Okay.
not playing that game.
Oh man.
Wow.
Means you just-
It's a free demo.
It's not anything that I'm interested in playing.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, you throwing it on the bus immediately.
I have a ton of backlog games that I'm
That's
gonna.
not even worth the bandwidth. Get out of here. All right.
It's not worth the 10 minutes it would take to download.
Although it is 30 gigabytes for some reason.
It is 30, yeah.
Very big demo. And if you're going to play the demo, do yourself a favor. Go through the options menu. Customize the controls to your liking. Because the default controls are terrible.
Okay, that wasn't just me, because I started playing this and I'm like, there's something wrong with this game. The UI is kind of
The
messed
UI
up
is atrocious.
too. Okay.
The tutorial doesn't inform you about enough stuff. You can use the D-pad to swap through your spells.
I didn't know that.
Exactly.
I used R1 and L1, and then it was like, here's other spells, and then these combine with this, and then this does this. And I'm like, what is happening right now? And then 10 minutes in, I find out I have a fire sword. I'm like, oh, okay, well, this makes it a little better, but
yeah, customize things and make the game more comfortable to your
more
playstyle.
better.
Like I had to customize the controls, so I assigned the melee to square instead of using the triggers.
Oh, I was using R2 and it's terrible.
Yeah, like my first time through, that's what I was doing, just the default. I'm like, this controls awful. This isn't fun to play this way. I went back into it, customized the thing, and it plays a little better once you become more familiar with the systems. But was it just me, or is the game really not that good looking?
No, the character models also are. It's a little surprising because this is from their Luminous Productions, right? Luminous Studios, their production.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have absolutely crushed it when it comes to the character models. And I don't know if this is because it's a demo, but like even the main character looked very like flat overall. It didn't stand out to me as a very impressive look. Final Fantasy 16 obviously is going to look better because it has as much budget as possible behind it. But it doesn't look anywhere near the level of, I'd say, most of Square Enix's stuff. I mean, even if you go and look at, I guess you could say Guardians of the Galaxy, something even like that. I look at the character models there, I'm like, these look better.
I'm guessing it's because, maybe it'll look better. It's the demo, but maybe because of like all the stuff that's happening on screen. It's open world game. Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, it doesn't look as good as Final Fantasy 16 and some of the other games. I agree with you guys when it comes to the control stuff. I had to go in there custom. Like it was also kind of like too bright. So
I noticed that.
Yeah,
well, HDR was like washed out or something.
Yeah, you have to adjust. So I had to. I took about 20 minutes adjusting everything to my liking. But once I adjusted everything to my liking, I was like, okay, this is solid. This is like a solid, like maybe like 70 something, 80 rated game, low 80s, 70 something rated game. It's not going to be anything incredible, and I don't know if it's going to be worth $70 day one. But it can be a game that you can play. When it's a bit cheaper, you just pick it up and you can have fun with it.
Some of the spells looked cool. Like I accidentally did one where lava exploded out of the ground and destroyed everything in front of me. That looked cool. I was like, all right, cool.
Like some of the spell effects are really visually pleasing. Mm-hmm. It's just getting there and learning how to do it just feels so cumbersome. And I can see what they're trying to do with these in-game mechanics and systems. And it feels as though there is a good to great game just buried underneath a terrible UI, confusing control systems. And for those who are willing to commit and put the time into it to customize everything, to learn all these intricate things, you may find an entertaining game. But this demo is just not a good first impression because your instincts aren't going to be, let me customize and go through the accessibility options to fine tune the game to how I want to play it. You're going to pick up the controller, start the demo, go through the tutorial, and walk away saying, what the hell was that?
Nate, is this going to be on a Metal Jesus Hidden Gems video in like 5 years from now?
With Need for Speed Unbound?
No, this isn't going to achieve hidden gem status. I think it's going to be, I picked this up on a steep discount, maybe $30, $40. I rented it, and people are going to say, you know what, that wasn't as bad as that demo I played, but it's
Is
just a tough
Is the
sell
traversal
after.
supposed to feel like good in this game when you press down the circle button and run? Because
I customized that so I
doesn't?
didn't have to hold it down.
yeah, you can just press and like you can just press it once and but like
You can
I don't.
toggle. You can press it once, and
I just don't. I don't know. I don't feel
It
like I'm
felt
getting
too-
through the world very well. I don't know. It's
it
just
felt too light. I didn't feel like there was impact in traversal, in combat. It just felt as though my character was just like a feather.
the problem. You're right. Is that they dropped you in with everything and don't explain anything really. I mean, they try to in the beginning, but it's like the demo would be one long tutorial basically. So I am curious if. I assume at the beginning you're going to start with nothing other than the band that you just got, and then they'll introduce things slowly. If then it'll make more sense, but not the best demo. Not a good
No,
demo at all.
It's really not a good first impression. And I mean, leading up to this, a lot of the complaints around the game were focused on the dialogue.
Oh gosh,
And like, I'm not even going to bring up the dialogue that we heard in the
it's
demo.
not good. It's not good.
No, it's not great, but it's just the gameplay mechanics. It's a really distracting thing. I mean, if you have interest in the game, I definitely recommend you give the demo a look just to see if the game is appealing to you from, you know, an actual play standpoint. Don't buy the game blindly next month for $70 and say, oof, maybe I should.
Oh, it is out next month. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so
Early
give the demo a
January.
look if you have any interest and see if the game does cater to your taste.
I think they should definitely do an updated demo. Like, if they can, just give it a little bit of an update to that demo. You know, I don't. Can you patch a demo? I think you can patch a demo.
I hope
Can you?
so.
MVG, can you patch a demo?
No, you'd have to basically just come up with a new demo. I don't think you can patch a demo.
You pull
Never
that
heard of
one and put a new one out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you. Yeah, you basically just remove it and add another one.
Yeah, that's probably too much work. Maybe is it too much work, MVG?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it happen before where like, did Resident Evil do that with like the kitchen demo and then they added another demo after that? Remember with Resident Evil 7? So I mean, they can do. I mean, that happens. It's not something that's not, you know, that doesn't happen.
I know. I think what was it? It was either Bravely Default 2 or was Octopath had multiple demos, but they were getting feedback. And then they released like another demo and say, "Hey, this is all your feedback," you know. So and that was spaced out more, so they had more time. This is like, yo, the game's launching next month, you know. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what we're seeing is. I wonder if it's just what we're getting then. If it's that close. Well, I guess we'll see. Hideo Kojima was there. He had more than a podcast to show as he unveiled Death Stranding 2. We kind of expected it though, right? We weren't going to see Overdose. That's still way too far off. And Death Stranding 2 leaked as part of that document. So we were basically expecting it to be here. And I, once again, still I'm not sure what we were looking at. And that's just kind of what Kojima does. I mean, we have somewhat of an idea, right? But
I bet this game is not a walking simulator. I bet he flips the script completely in something else.
I think
just-
so too.
That's what you said last time.
No,
I was just gonna
I
say
didn't
this.
say that last time.
Believe it or not, I'm actually looking forward a little bit to it. I'm thinking this is going to be like a Metal Gear Solid 1 to Metal Gear Solid 2 thing where you just don't know what's going to happen, but they add a bunch of really cool things to actually make the gameplay. Oh, Metal Gear Solid 1 was already good, but you guys know what I'm saying with Metal Gear Solid 2. They added so many cool things. I think that this game is not going to have all like the walking simulator like things. I think it's going to hit on the stuff that was dope in, you know, Death Stranding 1, which wasn't much, but it's going to hit on that. And then they're going to even add to that. They're going to, so I'm actually somewhat looking forward to the game, even though I don't like Death Stranding 1. But
T-minus how long until it's exactly the same?
Hideo Kojima doesn't necessarily, he'll make the same type of game, but he'll always make really cool things. Like if you look at like Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, and 4, there are like major gameplay mechanics that he's switched
I
up.
think it'll be completely different. I think obviously there'll be similar things, but I honestly do think this game will be different. And just based on the little teaser, that we got. I feel like there's a whole different like attitude with this game specifically versus
What the fuck is this? Food delivery?
My wife brought me a sandwich.
He's a married man.
Unasked
He's a
for?
man alone. Let him have his dinner.
What are you, ninja over there? Didn't he get in trouble for a sandwich or something?
Shout outs to Mrs. Essence.
What kind of
I'm
sandwich?
curious because she
Chicken.
had.
I'm black.
Can I say that? I don't know if I can say that.
You could say it.
No, because that's no. I'm talking about the character in the trailer. Because technically it's a spoiler. The character in the trailer who had normal skin, we'll say.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? That's not. It's not supposed to be like that. That's why I'm confused.
It's because Hideo retcons his shit all the time.
Well, maybe there's some explanation for why.
Of course there will be, but it's still a retcon.
But
I will
obviously,
say-
it's
I
in the
will say-
future.
I will
Obviously,
say if this story is about like protecting the baby, like it's going to give me so much fucking anxiety. I may have to skip.
well, they did a
Because that's
terrible
what the
job.
game is.
They did a terrible job because immediately in the trailer, it's
Well, it
so-
was a squid.
I'll
It was a
ditch the
squid
baby. I'll tell everyone for themselves.
Back when
Yeah.
I worked at the pharmacy,
Oh boy.
there's a drug. It's called Accutane that people take for acne. That has generics and stuff like that. But it comes every time you have to like do all this stuff. Like you have to sign documents. Your doctor has to sign something. You have to call a number every time to have it authorized. And there's a pamphlet that used to come with it. It doesn't come with it anymore. But in the pamphlet, it shows what happens if a woman who got pregnant was taking that. And it was like a little squid baby. Like it had arms,
What?
but like the arms were like not realized, and like the hand and stuff was just like it looked like a little squid baby. So that was what I thought of when I saw that. I was like, oh, she took Accutane when she was pregnant.
Okay. So I think there's a definitely a shift in gameplay, but already in that trailer, you look at it, there's so much stuff that you would not understand if you didn't play the first game. So it's going to be weird people who are like, oh, now it's more action based and it's not delivering stuff, but you won't really know what's happening right now if you didn't play the game where you're delivering packages the whole time. So I guess you could just look up a story.
I mean,
summary.
can we talk about the first game, or is it still spoiled?
It was so what? It was 20. Is that 20?
Well, I mean,
No spoilers, because it's
okay.
fucking Rich Retro $5 donation super chat.
Mhm.
Is it? Would it be dumb to try and get into Death Stranding 1 now? Yes, because these people are going to ruin it
No,
for
it
you.
would not be dumb. You should.
we
we
can talk in very vague terms, I think.
Well, I
and make it
mean,
work.
the overarching theme is like connecting
Bridges, yeah,
America, right?
yeah.
So so I feel like the second game, this game is going to have something new.
I think
to-
it's going to be about disconnecting.
Oh,
at
I like
the end
that.
of the trailer. It said, "Did we make the mistake? Was it a mistake
Yeah.
to connect?"
right.
So it might be to revert some of the stuff we did by connecting. And I mean, that's the thing with Kojima. He's not going to repeat what he did with the first game.
Right.
It's going to be a unique twist. And, this was just the first trailer. We only have a very basic premise of what he is looking to do. But, I'm definitely anticipating some surprises, and I want to see the direction he goes with the narrative. And as you said, he rewrote the whole game due to COVID because he was tired of predicting the future. So, I mean, what did COVID do to Kojima, and what inspiration has
They actually
he
said
taken from that?
They said that?
Yeah, you said that.
He rewrote
Oh.
he rewrote this whole game due to COVID.
Maybe he went. You think he goes? Hold on. Do you think he goes multi-dimensional in this game?
We've had enough of that.
Did you wait? Can I say this real quick? Did you see Jeff Keighley run and hug Kojima on stage?
Yes.
He ran, almost sprinted to hug him, give him a little I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, bruh.
I do wonder if he's going to get in some even more because it's already supernatural, obviously, in that game, but if he gets even more out there and supernatural and yeah. I like the idea though of them disconnecting now, Nate. And I'm curious how that plays into the the multiplayer stuff that he did, because before it was about working together, and now will it be about, okay, we got to destroy each other passively, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that was my first thought when I saw the end of the trailer with those words. I was like, are we going to undo what we did? And
Maybe in the next trailer, they have like Snake pop up. So he undoes what he did with Konami.
Nah,
Kept
we're gonna
you waiting,
see
huh?
Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, it'll be Jeff Keighley in the game. He'll be the star of this game.
He was already in the game.
Yeah, but he'll have a more prominent role.
Well, that. So was Conan O'Brien was in the game too.
Was he?
Yeah, he's one of the guys you see when you're going to different bases.
Shout out to Conan O'Brien. He's funny. I remember
Yeah,
him.
Conan
there's an
O'Brien
entire
was
skit where he
was in
went
Resident
there.
Evil Revelations.
Was he?
Well, they had a redheaded
Oh
guy.
no, he
who
did.
looked
He
like
did a whole
Conan
skit.
O'Brien.
He did a whole skit on his on his show where he went to Kojima Productions and got scanned in and stuff. So it was pretty good.
That's hilarious because that's what I was thinking of when I was like, is that Conan O'Brien? Resident
That
Evil
guy
Revelations?
looked like Conan O'Brien, like all fucked up. His hair. He's like, I'm looking up his picture right now so I can post it actually.
And we had, we had Immortals of Avium. It's a magic shooter, single player though, and this is done under the EA Originals label. So they're publishing it. It's from Ascendant Studios. Not really sure what else is going on with this one, as it was a pretty brief teaser. But a magic shooter. I don't know. We'll see. Tekken 8. Tekken 8 looks pretty good. I think this is going to be a very visually impressive.
Did we mention Street Fighter 6?
Not yet.
Nope.
No, not yet.
But that was before Tekken 8, was it not?
That might have been in the
Yeah.
pre-show.
It was
Let
at
me
the
see.
pre-show, I thought.
There it is. Street Fighter 6.
Looks
Out.
great. I don't know how I feel about
June
DJ's hair though. I wasn't really a fan of
DJ.
that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Too long or too
Marissa.
Too
short?
short. Too
Or-
short. I felt.
June 2nd though. So.
What's up with that cover art, man? On that
Oh
game?
gosh,
Looks
dude,
horrible.
it does look pretty
Horrible.
bad. Is there?
I was gonna say, is the Japanese or European cover any better? Because like, I'm gonna go with one of those because that cover art is terrible.
Wait, the
Capcom,
cover
come on.
art that you're not going to see because you put it sideways on a shelf?
Well, hold on. Would that also be the icon too? You
All
think?
my games are face out.
Oh, are they?
Oh, they're not. I'm kidding. I'm
Oh, I was gonna say, wow.
How big of a
okay,
shelf
okay,
you
let's
got?
go.
Custom made.
that cover art's terrible, but like I said, I said it on Twitter. I think they're playing 4D chess. They want you to buy the game digital, man. Like, hey, don't
Yeah.
buy this crusty box art.
I think you're right. I made.
There were some good points that were brought up online that if Capcom's trying to casualize this thing, they don't want to overdo it with the box art. Just have one person there.
But
Make it
like,
look very
Come
simplistic.
on, man.
well, that's too simplistic.
I mean, that's what they do for the Madden cover.
but that's
Yeah, they
Madden
can't put
covers were
every
terrible.
football
They
player.
were
on the cover
casualizing.
of
This is
Madden.
esports. Okay, it's
Oh my-
sports with an E on the front. Thank you.
I thought the Madden covers were so bad. I'm like, man, these Madden covers suck. And then people are like, no, I love the Madden covers. The people they make those corny covers where Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are just looking into the camera.
Oh, that's
Like,
probably
that's
like-
bad. That's COVID. That's the
These-
COVID edition there, where they had to just go to the field and just take a picture of the cell
Yeah,
phone.
but,
That's
like,
what that was.
These covers are so terrible, and people are like, no,
I
they're good,
know.
man. I like it.
Look at the incredible artwork for like Alpha 3 and Third Strike and all the
Madden
classic Street
96.
Fighter games.
I think
And
the
then they give
Madden.
you
Now that's a cover.
I liked
That's the cover.
Madden. I think the Madden cover I liked was it might have been 2010.
Yes,
They had
Fitzgerald,
Palomalu and Fitzgerald, and they
Paloma-
it had like paint coming off of them. That looked
and they
cool.
were going head up.
Yeah,
they were
that
going
was
like this.
fun.
Yeah, that
what
was
about
a
Madden
great
95?
Oh my
That's a hell of a cover too.
Or
It's like looking
Madden
off to the
05.
side. He's like,
Madden
where the fuck
05.
am I right now?
With
Got
Ray
the
Lewis on the
popcorn
front?
popper.
Yeah, Madden 05 was sick with Ray Lewis just like looking like he was about to kill you. Yeah.
I liked Madden 09 because it was Brett Favre on the front cover for Green Bay, and that was the year he went to the Jets. So
The
what they
Jets.
did is they actually sent box art to everyone who bought the
Yeah,
game,
I
and you
got
could change
mine.
it out for the. I did it too. It is for change out for the Jets. It
What about
was
Prime
really
Time
funny.
with Deion Sanders? Classic.
Okay, there you go. I like the classic football games you have there.
You got
RGT?
NFL Quarterback Club?
Quarterback Club. That was Steve Young, right on the cover.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. The first
Yeah,
one was
we'll
Troy
see this.
Aikman, I believe. No, Troy Aikman had his own separate game on the Super Nintendo. What about look, College Football '96 getting a little sexy with the low cut guy in the
Who's
middle
that?
there.
Who's that guy?
I don't know. He didn't get paid though.
That's number
Poor
one.
guy.
Back to
wait,
Tekken
hold on,
8.
hold on, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
More
I
football.
found that in '93.
See it.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Boom!
that's,
That's
Yeah,
a good
that's
one.
that's literally him going, we don't know what to make for the cover.
Well, no, it's got the stuff in the background too. That's legit.
Yeah, that's old school Madden. I like that.
Look at the manual of this fucking thing.
Is it like a book?
It's a Bible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Direct feed.
Player ratings for everyone.
I love that cover of you guys. Chat, look up Quarterback Club 96. That was like my favorite. That game's.
I have that. I still have the Super NES cart of that.
Oh, do you, dude? I loved it because I'm a big Niner fan, and it was Steve Young just zipping it. Like, oh man, that was so good. I used to play that game, and you used to have the quarterback drills. Like you can do like custom quarterback drills, like hurdles and do all sorts. I love that game so much.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yes, it is, Jordan. I know you should
not doing sports drills in a video game. That's really cool.
You were 1 or 2 when it came out, but you know what?
Right. Of course, yeah.
We had Tekken 8. Tekken 8 looks good. Visually, it's very impressive. I don't play a lot of the fighting games, but I will say this is probably up there in terms of visual style.
Yeah, it looks good.
Let's see, we had Nightingale. Then we had Baldur's Gate 3. Wayfinder. I'm not sure about that one. Character-based online action RPG. Published by Warframe developer Digital Extremes. That seems like an Evan game. Just because it's the Warframe developer Digital Extremes. We had Fire Emblem Engage. There's an expansion pass trailer. OJ,
Yes.
are we feeling about this? The more content for Fire Emblem Engage? Okay.
Awesome, because it comes with the expansion. And if you've played Three Houses, the Ashen Wolves expansion is incredible. Like, it's so good. So I'm looking forward to this one. I like, Edelgard, Dimitri, Claude. You get to use them as one band, as an emblem. It's like an emblem. It's not a ring. It's a band, I guess. But they're all 3 of them in there. And you get to play as Tiki. Tiki's apparently she's not alive. So this game is either super far into the future or she's just there in spirit with there, but she's alive, but she's like not there physically with them. So in Tiki, she lives a long time. So it was interesting to see her as an emblem ring. I thought she would just be like alive because she can survive for like thousands of years. So that was cool. And yeah, looking forward to like the content because like the expansion pass for Three Houses was really good. So cool too here.
Diablo 4. New trailer shows the June 6th release date. So I guess that leak date was correct. And Sean made a good comment on the entire trailer. What was it, Sean?
The game never looks like that.
It's only the game looked like that. There have been some pretty good previews on Diablo 4. I feel like it's going to be a good game. I think the biggest
Max, if you zoom in enough, it looks like that. Max, it does not look like that. Stop it. No, if you zoom in enough, it kind of looks like that. Crazy bastard.
We know what Diablo looks like after Diablo 3, and we've seen gameplay of Diablo 4. So I know what I'm getting into there. It's just funny that they present it with that CGI trailer that, you're right, looks very over the top and nothing like what we're going to get from it. Although Blizzard does that with a lot of their games. I even go back to like the original StarCraft.
It's really any sort of game that's like any sort of, I wouldn't say it's not a RTS game really, but like, all the like Command and Conquer, all the old Command and Conquers, StarCraft, World of Warcraft, right. Always have these epic trailers where it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, this game looks awesome. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'm looking at ants.
They do that a lot, though, and it a lot of times they'll tell you it's an RTS game after the trailer's played, and you think something really cool is going to happen, and then it's just like 30 or 40 people isometric zoomed out, and they're just clashing another 40 or 50 people, and you're like, oh, okay.
It's a similar thing with the John Wick game. It's like, we're making a John Wick game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's awesome, and then you see the game, you're like,
it's tactics.
What is this? It's not John Wick.
And we did have the Horizon Forbidden West DLC, Burning Shores, April 19th, so year and 2 months.
PS5 only though. That's the big
this
news
is interesting.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that one. They're leaving the PS4 version behind already with the downloadable content.
Good move.
Yeah. Is
it? They kind of sold the PS4 version last year, and now the DLC is just for PS5.
Unfortunately,
that seems kind of weird.
Didn't Square Enix do the exact same thing with the Final Fantasy VII DLC?
Yeah, we smacked them around too.
Yeah, people were like, wait a minute, hold up, but I bought the game. I can't even, but it was worse back then because people couldn't even get a PS5. It was harder to get one. So I was like, wait a minute, I bought it on PS4. I wanted to do like, what's going on?
Cyberpunk is doing it too.
Nate, you don't remember, Nate, that they did the thing where they let people claim Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation Plus but you couldn't do the free upgrade to the PS5 with that version. You had to go on the store and buy a whole other version of Final Fantasy 7 that was basically the same thing without one little line of code that said it was from PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, but that's some weird thing that has to do with Sony's upgrade system when it comes to PlayStation Plus games. It's also the publisher just not wanting to give out
Yeah, no, I get that.
Plus games, so the free upgrade system. But I mean, expansion packs going exclusive to a next gen system, it feels as though it's just inevitable.
It feels to me like some of their cross gen stuff were head scratching decisions.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it feels like a statement that this is the time where we're going to start really focusing on next gen. I mean, dude, it's been 10 years.
Yeah,
10 years.
They want to move on from the PS4 and the expansion.
We were all surprised that Horizon Forbidden West was coming out on the PlayStation 4. Like, should it have actually came out on the PlayStation 4?
It probably shouldn't have, to be honest.
No, it shouldn't have. So, I mean, you got your time with the game, and if they do something similar with God of War Ragnarok, once again,
those are probably came out on PS4.
I mean, if they're gonna treat it like this with the post content,
that's a lot of money.
That's
a lot of money lost because people were buying it on PS4 as well.
Yeah, but look at like all the stuff they had to go through with the free upgrade path, and Jim Ryan has this image now attached to him because of all this stuff.
That's them being weird though, because other people on PS5 have done that no problem. So that's just them being. Trying to like being kind of shady,
unsure, all over the place. I don't know,
because they said something, they got caught because they said, "Oh, you can get a free." Then they tried to hide the fact that they said that, and then people like called them out on it, and then they had to change it. Then it was all weird. So I don't know. I think that it still should have came out because like it was hard to get a PS5. So if you couldn't get a PS5, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it just seemed weird that they committed to it for the full game, the base game, but then they've dumped support for it immediately a year later. It just seems kind of strange from the outside. But Burning Shores, I'm curious about that one too, especially if it's going to actually take advantage of the PS5. So we'll see. Blue Protocol, Bandai Namco's massive multiplayer action RPG.
Until then, I was like, oh.
Yeah, the problem with these MMOs, man, they just command so much of your time. It's like pick 2 at most, and hope you can do it.
I signed up for the beta. It looks cool. Like it looks like it's going to be a fun game. But we'll see. It kind of looks like Sword Art Online, but like good. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. But I'm looking forward to at least trying it out on PC, like the beta.
We had a Transformers game, Transformers Reactivate.
What the hell was that?
I think a lot of people don't even realize there was a Transformers game because I wouldn't blame them. It didn't look like a Transformers game until the last 3 seconds they said, "Hey, Transformers."
I think everyone's reaction was Transformers.
Yeah, I mean, Splash Damage is making it. Okay, we will see. They didn't really show anything, so hey, at least there's a new Transformers game to look forward to. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here to Crash Team Rumble. This is Wampa League. Yay.
Kind of Wampa League.
Okay.
Kind of Wampa League. Yeah. The original concept of Wampa League was scrapped quite some time ago when it was kind of morphed into this. But now there's 2 CTRs. There's Crash Team Racing, Crash Team Rumble.
Is this it's just like a hero arena shooter?
Yes and no. It's very weird to explain the gameplay, but yeah, there's a collecting aspect of getting the most fruit or the most Wumpa fruit, and some combat. And they also didn't date it; they just gave a year, which is odd because a lot of the times when for any of the Crash games or the Spyro games, we get a date with the trailer. This just said 2023, and that also feels a little weird because it's like, well, this game's been how long in production? We've known about this game for years now of it. Like, is it going to come out? They've been teasing it. They've sent out packages to people to tease the game for literal years. So I don't know. I look forward to it. I'm assuming it's a free game with microtransactions. But I don't want to assume fully because that would suck. It comes out and it's, not a free game. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'm just tired of Crash. I love Crash. We've had 5 games.
Spyro, just say it.
We've had 5 games since Crash has come back. We've had 1 Spyro game, and it's about damn time that you give some respect to your other IP as well. So
the next one came out of nowhere. I had no expectation for this, and then they showed it, and I was like, you know what? I might be checking this out. Crime Boss.
Yeah, Vanilla
What was
Ice.
this?
Yeah, I got Vanilla Ice, Danny Trejo.
This is like one of those games that they're just paying all the people and the game's gonna be ass, but it's gonna be so bad that it's good and it's somewhat playable. That's what it feels like to me, because like it looks like they were really trying to market the let's just pay all the people. I mean, come on, Vanilla Ice.
It's a first-person shooter heist game.
Set in the 90s, so they better have appropriate music and vehicles and stuff. I'm on board. I love that trailer.
March 28th. March 28th.
Let's go.
Okay.
I'm interested.
All right, we'll check that one out. It's got Chuck Norris. You said Vanilla Ice.
Michael Madsen.
Okay.
Madsen, yep.
We'll see exactly what that game is. If it's going to be like I assume it's a multiplayer game, but if it's like Payday, sort of.
What's the name of the game again? I forgot.
Crime Boss Rocky City.
Something's off with this game.
Yeah, you look at it. That's what you're gonna find.
Something, but I think it's gonna be like dope to stream just because of the star power of the game.
Yeah,
you know,
you're
like
Chuck Norris or you're Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, when was the last time we got to play as Chuck Norris in a game?
Yeah, it might be worth it just for that.
Yeah, and like Danny Trejo, then you got all sorts of people in here.
Isn't Ken Basinger in there as well?
Yeah. There's a lot of people. I want to play because of Vanilla Ice and Chuck. I'll keep it real. Like I do want to, because I like Vanilla Ice.
We'll finish up with the two final big reveals at the show. We had Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. This is it's going to be a decade since the last Armored Core game came out. It was Armored Core 5, and then we had they would always release an Armored Core numbered game, then they have several like sub games or like spin-offs of that that numbered game that they made, and then they made the next one. But it's been over 10 years since we had that last Armored Core 5 spin-off release, and finally FromSoft is going back. Armored Core 6 is coming out in 2023, and it is coming to the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Are they sponsored by Jeep or something?
It will be on the VCR. Oh. It will be on the VCR somehow, some way. And they said that they took what they've learned in the last, decade or so of development and are applying it to this. So I am very curious how Armored Core is going to control, because Armored Core has always it's always been that very mechanized game is what I'll say. It's not Gundam or like anime style all over the place, acrobatics and stuff.
But Gundam oh my gosh, I'm getting mixed up on the name of the game. But it's not like fast paced and all that. Like this one, they say it's gonna be fast paced, but the graphics were never anything like super crazy, you know? So I don't think they can get it on the PS4. They can get it running Armored Core. Sorry, there's the name. Armored Core. They can get it on the other stuff, because I don't think they're really going to go all crazy on graphics. Just like, Elden Ring, is not all like the same way. Like they're more about gameplay mechanics and everything. They're not going to have the craziest graphics, but I think it's going to be more about
art style. Could be really cool for it though.
Yeah, the art style is going to be good. The gameplay is going to be solid. It's going to be, so I think that's what they're going to focus on with Armored Core. But I'm happy to see it back, because it's been like what, 10
years? 10 years, yeah.
It's been a long time, man. So it's good to see Armored Core come back. Front Mission's back too.
A lot of good talent on this project. I believe the assistant director of Sekiro is the lead director for Armored Core. Yep. Miyazaki being like an assistant on it. So, I mean, I can't wait to see what they do with this franchise. I've loved Armored Core back on the PS1. The PS2 entries.
I played it on the PS2, and then I played it on the PS3. I remember 4 Answers specifically, and I also remember Evan took home a PS3 and just borrowed it from the store one night to play Armored Core 4 Answers. So that's the one that I didn't even really remember Armored Core 5 that well. I have it on the 360. I don't remember it that well. 4 Answer I remember, and I remember Armored Core on the PS2, because at the time I was looking for anything to play on the PS2 because it's like the new system. But Nate, I'm excited for 6.
Yeah, I'm really excited for 6. And as weird as it is to say, since the introduction of Demon Souls, FromSoft is it's kind of a bigger brand now in gamers' minds. Yeah. Armored Core back on PS2 and PS1, or anything from FromSoft, at that point was still niche. Now, Armored Core 6 is going to have the attention of a lot of people simply because the pedigree that FromSoft carries with it now. So I'm really interested in the direction they're going to take with this, how they're going to approach combat, the world, and everything. Because if it's a little more fluid, a little quicker in combat, and it has like rhythm to it, this could be one of the best mech games we see in, well over a decade. So show me some gameplay, give it a release date for next year, and I'll probably be there day one.
That's the direct. I hope that's kind of what they're trying to do. Go ahead, MG.
I was going to say, when they showed that trailer, they started, and then they showed the FromSoft logo. You could hear the roar in the crowd. Everyone's going crazy. So you're right, Nate. I think FromSoft has transcended to like the next level of AAA game development now. They're a big deal.
I will say this. All right, so we were watching this on stream, right? 8 seconds in. We see the Bandai Namco logo or whatever, and then it goes up to the red dot in the screen, and then it kind of does the pulsing out and stuff. And then we see the scenery, and I'm like, Armored Core, this is it. And we're like, yeah, Armored Core is coming back, awesome. And then they show the FromSoft, like, great, dude. I checked out some reactions. People are like, oh, mech game. Oh, cool. It's from. Oh, what is this? This is neat.
FromSoft.
Oh, wow, Armored Core. Wow, the 6th one, and I'm like, wow, I forgot how small Armored Core actually is. And I looked at the sales and I'm like, dude, these things didn't sell anything.
No, I actually saw a take online that kind of made me laugh where the game was announced and they're like, oh, wow, FromSoft is making Armored Core. This is cool that they're going to get a chance to make this series. I'm like, it's theirs.
It's their most, it's actually their like, that and Kingsfield are the two most storied franchises. It goes back to the 90s.
Yeah, you go way back. I mean, it's almost funny when you think about like the GameCube era, where FromSoft released 2 GameCube exclusive RPGs with Lost Kingdom and Lost Kingdom 2.
Oh, that's right.
Could you imagine if FromSoft announced that they have 2 exclusive RPGs coming to the Switch right now? The internet would go nuts. The company is such a different company than it used to be, and it all started with Demon Souls. That revolutionized what they became.
Yeah.
And now everything they do has attention. Everyone is focused on what FromSoft is going to deliver for better or for worse. So, hey, if this is going to bring more people to Armored Core, I'm all for it.
The cinematics were very cool. I think it's just obviously I'm not excited over cinematics, but I thought visually, I don't know if that's going to be what cutscenes are going to look like or what anything's going to look like in the world, just a taste of it. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think there's some cool scenery, some really cool cinematography there.
They did say that the story or the gameplay is going to be fast. So they did say it's going to be a faster action paced gameplay.
And you could tell it's going to have a big budget.
I'm on board with that. They're taking a chance on it because Armored Core does not make money. So
no, but I mean,
but
you
From Software does
the first time it sells 10 million copies.
Yeah, all you need to have is From Software on it.
This is it.
10 million? What the fuck are you saying?
Hey, we have hope. I want Microsoft to go to FromSoft right now and say Atoji 1 and 2 remakes exclusives.
Whoa. Let's do it. That's what I want.
Let's do it. Come on,
throw a Ninja Blade as
well. FromSoft could make a version of Jeopardy, and people would be like, "Yo, this might be the
because Owl's Jeopardy.
Check this out.
Your head off. Get the question wrong. You just 2, 3.
Yeah, people would be checking for that one. Then just put the FromSoft logo in front of everything.
Music. If FromSoft produced the music,
FromSoft, man, they've got 2 Game Award winners already.
Yeah,
so pretty close to each other too. So that's what happens.
Excited. Definitely want to check out the.
Cannot wait for Armored
Core. Gameplay for that. I assume it's coming out. I mean, second half maybe of 2023. Do you feel like they may have been a bit more confident in a release date if it was coming in the next 3 or 4 months? So I'm assuming it's like.
I mean, Elden Ring got a delay.
October.
Remember when they announced that? So I kind of feel like they're just sitting back a little bit. And not trying to commit to anything.
Yeah, they're just being a little cautious to make sure they don't have to delay after they announce. So
I'm ready.
2023 is going to be a good year for FromSoft.
Well, the last announcement, big announcement. Final Fantasy 16 was shown. It is coming out June 22nd. So we're starting to fill up the first half of 2023 already. It's it's actually getting kind of packed right now. But Final Fantasy 16 showcased. Also now has a nice little mature rating on the box. So this is going to be only the third Final Fantasy game we've ever had with an M rating, that being Stranger Paradise, then Type 0. And Type 0 was kind of crazy because they definitely killed a chocobo immediately in that game, and it was like exploded in blood and stuff. So now I'm like, oh, this is just from the trailer and stuff they've shown.
Can you mention box art? Because we were talking about box art earlier. The US box art is actually better than the Japanese box art for Final Fantasy.
That doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, have you guys seen the difference between them? Chat knows. Like the US box art has like an orange kind of like you're going into something with like the child, and then like, you know, the main character on the side, and then the Japanese box art is just the main, like where he's just standing there, you know. So like the US box art's actually cool. I was surprised. This game's gonna be lit though. They actually showed gameplay. It showed a lot of gameplay.
The game looks obscene.
It looks ridiculously good. Not even just from a visual standpoint, but from the gameplay they have shown. This is a Final Fantasy of like dreams.
I want to see the progression with it though, which I assume they'll show off in a trailer. You know, like a Final Fantasy 16 progression trailer where they literally just go through the menus. I assume for how you, I assume level up your summons or arts or skills or something. That's what I'm curious about now, because I think I've seen enough with the visuals, the story, the gameplay. I'm just curious about some of the back end stuff of the game now, because it looks ridiculous. Yes.
It looks great. This is such a departure from what we got with Final Fantasy 15. And this looks phenomenal. The darker tone, the visuals, just the general setting that they have shown to this point. Everything about it is intoxicating. And I want to play the game now. Like, delay Forspoken a year and give me a Final Fantasy 16 demo.
I think that thing's just getting kicked out of the door. Let's be real. They're just pushing Forspoken out.
Because they're like, you're out. Our focus is 16. Get this game out of the way because we got better stuff coming.
Push Forspoken out that week in January. Then the next week, drop the Final Fantasy 16 demo so everyone forgets about that. just move right along.
I would buy Forspoken.
I'd buy Forspoken if it came with a 16 demo.
I mean, that's why.
What if Square did so?
They should. The game's not selling. What do we do? Attach a demo.
Wait a minute. That might be the move. A lot of people would pay for that, actually. Especially if they're like, it's a 3-hour demo. It's like, man.
I would definitely buy Forspoken for that, just because I cover it on the channel. But I agree with Nate. Like, Final Fantasy 16 looks absolutely incredible. This looks like an actual, like, they're really tapping everything the PS5 has, you know? Like, I am super excited for the game. I think that getting the Devil May Cry dude, I was a little bit apprehensive at first, but getting him to actually do the combat for trying to make Final Fantasy into something, you know, that can do really well, that can like sell 10 million plus, like without discounting to $3 like Final Fantasy 15 did, you know, like that's what I would want for Square Enix. That's what we need the game to have some staying power, like older Final Fantasies had a little bit, you know, not to where it's discounted so quickly or they have to announce 15 years of DLC. Like Final Fantasy 15 was just a cluster, you know, it was just a cluster. It was so mishandled in so many different ways. Like, so I can see the singular focus with this game, not as large in terms of, it probably won't have as much content as Final Fantasy 15, but it doesn't need it. What it needs, it needs the quality to be there, because Final Fantasy 15 at launch was very unpolished. It was not ideal, even though I like the game. But I like what I'm seeing here, and this is a game like to legit get a PS5 for, you know. So that's dope. So I'm excited.
Okay. Good. And we had Elden Ring win Game of the Year to cap off the night, which I don't think surprised a lot of people. It was going to come down to either that or God of War, and I think a lot of people had already penciled in Elden Ring all year anyway. So it was like, all right, cool. There wasn't. I mean, I guess because God of War was there, it was some anticipation, like what's going to win. But I feel like a lot of people heard it and were like, yeah, that's fine. We just kind of moved on, heard about Bill Clinton, and end credits.
I mean, Elden Ring had the biggest impact on gaming, and it had it at the start of the year and carried through it throughout the whole year. There that much talk online, that much consistent, you know, support for it, and how widespread that game became. There was no question in my mind that God of War was not going to beat that gap with the month that it had before the Game Awards. So
yeah. Also, Also, how bad did the Game Awards security look at the end?
Not good.
Yeah,
That was pretty bad, right?
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
He did look
Honestly-
like one of the
Honestly,
team members,
I
though,
think
didn't he?
Keely's on the hook for it.
He just walked with confidence.
He was
like,
a
I'm up here.
child.
Yeah, but he looked like because he walked up there. At
He was
MVG,
patting
my
him on
bad.
the back. He was like, "Hey, we did it."
Sorry to interrupt, but like he walked up there like as if he was part of like the development team. But MVG, go ahead, man. I want to hear what you
No,
have
I was
to say
just
on
going to say Keely should be on the hook for that. That's the buck stocks with him with that sort of stuff. Like, yeah, I know it's like security and all that stuff, but like at the end of the day, it's your show, man. And if you let that happen, it could have been a lot worse, right?
Oh yeah,
I know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know it was just a fun thing, and it's just a kid and everything. And it was hilarious. It's a meme, but anyone could have got on that stage and really fuck shit up. You know what I'm saying? So I think Keely really should be responsible for that, and he should make a statement on it. Other than the kid's been arrested, and apparently he was not even arrested. So
Well, it's because he's 15. They probably bring him back, bring him back to the station and be like, "We're gonna call your parents now."
Yeah, they just called his parents. His parents
Yeah, he
came
was
there, or his
detained.
guardian.
That was it.
Yeah, so
He just picked him up.
but it's a good lesson for Keely to learn and be like, wait a minute, okay, so we need to. I assume what they need to do is figure out who's going up there to accept the award. Let's go through that right now ahead of time, and the security people will have at least knowledge maybe of who won, so they can look around. And
Even beyond that, why would an individual who bought a public ticket be able to walk down, like separate public ticket buys from actual invitees? And there should be security standing in the aisle so that if you are public, you can't cross that. If
okay,
stadiums for sporting events can do this, why couldn't
That's
a
true.
award show
Because
not prevent
money in
just
Jeff's
a
pocket. It's
random
more
ticket
expense.
buyer to walk all the way to the front? That
I see
never
what you're
should have
saying. Yeah, because like if you for like the players, they have sections for family and stuff that's not part of like the public ones. So I see what you're saying. So they would have that roped off for the
So it's
people
not
who
like,
are
oh yeah,
up for
we
awards.
just happen to have some FromSoft people seated way in the back. Like, come on. Security failed. This whole thing has to be evaluated, on Keely's front. Everything has to change. This can never be repeated. And I hope that Keely in the future doesn't try to play into this. Don't make it a meme. This was embarrassing. And as NVG said, this could have gone a lot worse than it did. Luckily, it did not go that direction.
you watch. He's going to bring him back next year and make him a meme.
No.
Something. Like
I feel like that was a really embarrassing moment for Jeff. I don't think he wants to relive it, to be honest. Because Miyazaki right there is like, big. Obviously, they just showed off Armored Core 6. It was a really big deal because he did a lot of these while it was happening. Remember when he's going to present it, he did these hand motions like the best studio, and then he lets someone walk up on stage with them. Sean saw him too. Sean was like, "Why is that kid licking his lips in the back?"
Yeah, Jordan and I were on to him.
and there you
He
go.
was being shifty back there. He kept looking at the monitors to see if he was on camera. But you know what? At least he was polite enough to let them finish the speech. He didn't like interrupt or ruin it until like they were done. But still, it was very weird. He was just standing there. Oddly.
But that was the Game Awards for 2022. So some fun reveals, I'd say. Overall, the consensus I think was reached for Game of the Year that no one really argued with, and that was it. We'll head into 2023 with some pretty cool games to look forward to. Final Fantasy 16, Armored Core 6, and some others. So not bad, minus the kind of the mess up at the end. I do want to go to sponsor for tonight's podcast. That is Manscaped. Manscaped is a well-known sponsor for the podcast here. Several channels on here as well. Because it is 'tis the season for clean balls. Our friends at Manscaped are helping you clear your driveway for safe travels this holiday season. From stocking stuffers to white elephants, Manscaped's products are at the top of every wish list. Grab some crop mops for your pops or the body buffer for the holiday lover. Win this year's white elephant gift and help all the men in your life go from eggnog to nice hog this December and save 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com/spawncast.
Solid
Manscaped's a one-stop shop for all holiday needs. They have the perfect gift in the Platinum Package 4.0, plus loads of little presents, perfect for stocking stuffers. What better holiday gift than giving the gift of good hygiene and a few laughs? You can impress all the people at that local Smash Brothers tournament. Don't let their chestnuts roast in the wrong boxers. Get them a pair of Manscaped's boxers, specially made to keep the area cool and provide holiday comfort all year round. Save 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com/spawncast. That's right, 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com/spawncast. Manscaped.com/spawncast. Manscaped for a perfect gift that will be the holidays' biggest hit. Shout out to Manscaped for sponsoring the podcast tonight. Let's go over here to Nintendo and Call of Duty. I'm going to pull up some super chats as well as we go towards that. A couple Discord questions here. The Nintendo and Call of Duty thing kind of also works into the FTC and Microsoft stuff, to be honest, because it was pretty obvious what was happening here. But Phil Spencer did follow up a bit on this one as to how this was going to happen. But according to Phil Spencer, Nintendo and Microsoft reached an agreement post Activision Blizzard acquisition that they would bring Call of Duty in some way to Nintendo's platform for the next 10 years, which I guess would start after they acquire Activision Blizzard. So that, that could be a little ways off still. But Call of Duty, Nintendo's platform, they didn't say the Switch. MVG, you saw that, right? They say the Switch.
I did.
Okay. Because Sony said it.
Sony
Sony said it
news outlets started saying the Switch.
Okay. Because Sony said it won't run on the Switch. I saw that. But it's apparently Call of Duty 10 years. It's interesting because the last Call of Duty game was on the Wii U.
Yep. Black Ops
right?
2?
Yeah, it was Black Ops 2. That was it, right? Nothing else. It was just
Ghost.
Oh, yeah,
Ghost.
Thank you. There was Ghost. Because Black Ops 2 launched that was a launch title for the Wii U, right?
Mm-hmm. We all like to forget Ghosts.
Yeah. So it would be probably a 10-year absence. We assume that's if they're going to develop Call of Duty even for the Switch, it's not going to happen immediately as soon as acquisition closes. It'll take a year or two, probably even after that, just to have something to show. So it's a bit surprising. But I think it's pretty obvious that they did this as leverage to at least show the FTC as a play of like, hey, we're working with the industry and Sony won't work with us. So who's buying Call of Duty on the Switch when it comes?
Me.
Right, Sean's on it immediately.
There's a video right
Beat the fuck out of those stupid little kids.
Oh man, Sean immediately was like,
I'm overclocking the Switch straight up. If that happens.
I'll get the review code maybe.
I want to see 150 people drop in on the Switch in Warzone.
What was that tweet you said, John, the other day? You can play Call of Duty in the bathroom while we're camping inside.
Oh, Sean, see? Yeah. There you go. You could be in the bathroom while we're hiding in the bathroom in Call of Duty Warzone. That's Sean's thing.
I'll definitely buy it. I wherever the competition is the least, you'll find me there. I don't care. I play video games to win.
Sean's immediately a victory if you're just killing children.
It is what it is, man. Then parents should have been buying better games for them kids.
Win's a win.
Win's a win.
That's how it is right there, huh? Win's a win. There were some question marks as to how they would accomplish this. Phil Spencer just basically said, hey, we'll make it work. We'll get Call of Duty on there somehow, which he's not the one developing it, obviously. So in his mind, he's like, yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will be there or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't understand why so many people focused on Switch. They said 10-year. Obviously, Switch is on its way out. Within the next 18 months, there's going to be a new system. So I don't get why people, Switch, dude, it's 10 years. Like, it's going to be the future. It's not.
Why Sony's comment was weird. I'm like, they know it wouldn't be the Switch too. Right? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, what?
Sony's. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they had Call of Duty on the fucking Wii. Like,
yeah, I mean, this is the first time that Call of Duty's been on a Nintendo platform. They've been on it for many years, and I think honestly, like if let's say the Switch was going to be around for 10 more years, which clearly it's not going to be, I think there would be a way to get Call of Duty running on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah.
It's on phones.
They got it on the DS. Guys, who played the DS version of Call of Duty?
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I mean, people are thinking, they're just going to get Modern Warfare 2 on there, all 120 gigabytes. No, that's not how it's going to work. But like they'll come up with a solution to get a game on the Switch, whether that's Call of Duty Mobile or if it's just another game, or if they just take pieces of the game as we know it and bring that over. It doesn't really matter. I mean, at the end of the day, they can bring this to Nintendo platforms and the Switch if that's
They put Call of Duty on the Vita.
Yeah,
it wasn't a great version of it, but they still did it. So they could make it work if they really.
Wasn't that a specific build for the Vita too?
That's what I mean. And the fact that they were willing to do it there, do you think they wouldn't do it on the Switch that potentially could be 130 to 140 million people? They might have one of the latest Switch games ever or something. Because they're like, let's just see what happens. Let's put it there. But I'm thinking if this deal closes, we say 2023, right? Like it just goes along, whatever. Sure. Maybe holiday 2024 to launch with a new Switch, or in the launch year of the Switch. Maybe Nintendo does some weird thing when they want to launch it.
They could easily drop Call of Duty with new hardware. I mean, there you go. That's a big incentive to pick up some new hardware right there.
Yeah, you have Call of Duty ready to go. It's portable as well, so Sean can take care of it. Just go in there and just start annihilating people in Warzone.
While dropping bombs, baby. Let's go.
Gosh. I also think it's Sony's discussions on it is hilarious. Have you seen some of the other stuff they said? Oh, well, systems for kids.
Yeah.
Like, kids. It's like Nintendo put out information. It's, well, the average age is like 20 something. Like that plays the Switch.
But even
average age is like 20 something.
Even then, there's so many people who own a Switch. It's hard to be like, it's all kids. It's like that's a lot of kids who own the Switch. I don't know,
because fighting for their life, man. They're fighting for their life in those. So is Microsoft. It's a battle, dude.
I mean, has anyone turned on random party chat on Call of Duty?
Don't ask me that over again.
Tomorrow, go on there, turn it on, and see how many kids you're playing with in the game. Because better yet, get on the PS5 and try it, because the microphone on the controller is on by default. And they all leave it on, and it is just mayhem. You hear a lot of background noise, you hear the kids talking, and it's definitely them playing it. So it's like, we all know it's a lot of younger kids who are playing Call of Duty, a lot of kids. So it's a very strange. I mean, obviously Sony's just saying whatever they can. We see that it's not lined up with what's actually happening in games for them. And it's kind of the same with Microsoft too. They're both like, the lawyers are not talking to the developers or their game arm for Microsoft. But I think it'd be cool to see Call of Duty come over. And you know what? I hope it's not the same version. I hope it's some weird thing. I hope they try something new. And they're like, there's enough people here to support it. Let's do the Call of Duty. What was it called on the Vita? What was it called? Like Declassified or something?
Something like that. Declassified.
Yeah, that's Declassified School Survival.
Okay, make a better game than that.
Thinking that, Jordan.
Yeah, make a better game than that. Because Black Ops Declassified, the game wasn't good, but make a better one than that. But if they were willing to make it on the Vita, I have to imagine they'd consider making it on a Nintendo system that's proven to be successful. So I haven't played the Wii version in a long time. How's that looking over there, MVG?
I mean, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, for its time, it was a fine port, but it hasn't aged particularly well.
Okay. But
the servers are still up. You can play Call of Duty on the Wii, Modern Warfare 3, and I think World at War.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, they're still up, and the reason is because the Wi-Fi connection thing, the Nintendo Wii connection thing, doesn't use that. It just uses Activision servers just to connect to the games, and they're still up to this day.
People still playing on there?
I mean, there's a very small amount of people playing, but there are people that are still playing it, which is funny.
There's a lot of Call of Duty games there's like 4 of them, right?
Yeah,
there was 4 on the Wii. Yeah,
Modern Warfare,
World at War.
3's on there.
Modern Warfare 3.
3's on there. 3's on there.
Was a launch title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have a lot of Call of Duty games on there.
There's a lot of COD games on the Wii.
They used to be all about it back then with Nintendo. I don't know what it was about the Switch that they were like, nah. I mean, it was
the Wii U. That's what caused it. It was the Wii U.
I guess that's true.
They did 2 of them and it didn't have the success. They weren't looking to sell like as much as they saw on PS3 and 360, but the Wii U just kind of soured them on the experience. Like, oh, it's going to be another Wii U, and then it ended up not being that. Right. But by then they were thinking about Call of Duty Mobile. They're like, well, we don't really need.
That's a good point. Once they did Call of Duty Mobile, I assume they were thinking. I mean, they could move Call of Duty Mobile to the Switch and call it something else. Call of Duty Switch.
They don't care.
just call it a day. But I mean, like Microsoft could do that. They could just be like, oh, it's
Okay.
Call of Duty Switch now. It looks very much like Call of Duty Mobile, but
Well, they could.
Switch.
People play that game. People like that game a lot. That's
It's
what I
incredibly
realized.
popular. 100
Yes,
million
it's
downloads on that game.
Yes, it's incredibly. People actually really like Call of Duty Mobile. Which is when I found out, I was like, okay, maybe they do that.
Yeah, it's hey, it's working for them there on mobile. It's interesting because people play Fortnite and Call of Duty on mobile, and it just seems like it would be an odd experience, but people are enjoying it. Let's go over some of the. Actually, we'll just start going through our Discord questions here since we're coming up on our last topic of the night. We have Josh says, question for MEG and all who want to pitch in. Have you heard of the release of OpenAI chatbot and its ability to write code and fix bugs in existing code? Also, do you plan on using it or playing with it?
I've already been messing around with ChatGPT. I mean, you see a lot of people on Twitter typing these things like, tell me a story about such and such, and it fills it all out for you. I haven't really looked at it from a development side, but I've seen people do some interesting things with it. I think the tech is really fascinating and I want to learn more about it. But at the moment, it's really just more about, it's more of a passing curiosity at this time. It looks pretty cool.
If I ask it to describe something in one word, does it understand to just spit back one word?
It depends on the word.
Okay.
Like if you ask it about a certain person, like a celebrity, it's going to say, I'm not programmed to know about that. Or if you ask about, but if you say like, tell me a story about why the Nintendo 64 is better than the GameCube, it's going to basically,
Can I
give you a terrible story.
Can I ask it describe the Nintendo 64 in one word?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, I think that should work. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if giving it a word limit actually works.
Oh, okay.
I don't think giving it a word limit actually works. If you say give me one word or give me 500 words, I think it just kind of goes until it does whatever it wants, which is usually about 400 to 500 words. So
gosh.
Maybe it does give one word, but any testing I've seen does not let it. It just kind of writes whatever.
Sounds like it would have been something great to have in college.
Honestly, I know Marquise Brownlee was messing around with it, and he basically got it to come up with a YouTube script for him. So I feel like there's some use cases here that potentially could really be helpful for content creators and things. And I think the tech is very interesting overall.
A script for a YouTube video, that'd be funny.
Yeah, it just spat out 3 pages of script for him for a video.
Wow.
And he's like, man, this is actually pretty interesting.
Huh. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Carl says, will Mario Strikers Battle League ever be a complete game?
No.
Ever.
I don't know. I've looked at some of the updates for it, and it's mostly just characters and arenas.
Yeah,
that's kind of.
They haven't really added much to it. I think they said they're done for this year, and I think they're going to add a few more things next year, but I'm not 100%.
Luigi says, started going to the gym again. What do you all prefer to eat before working out?
Burgers.
Burgers.
Big burgers. Big old juicy burgers from Five Guys or McDonald's, and get them with everything. With everything.
I usually eat an apple, Luigi.
They make Luigi apples?
That's just Luigi. That's their name. I usually eat an apple. That's usually what I'll eat. Toe says, now that I have actual money to spend on retro games, what's the easiest way to build a collection? I already have the consoles, so there's no issue. It's just I have very minimal games to play on them. It's an easy way to build a collection.
Buy EverDrive cartridges.
Oh, there you go.
And then the games that you really, really, really want, assuming they're not stupid price, just get those. But I would just get an EverDrive.
I mean, also you can buy game lots if you're looking to actually build a physical collection on your shelf. And I would start with original Xbox right now. Original Xbox is a good one because they're not overly expensive and you can get a lot of them and fill up a shelf. And the games are still very playable right now. Andy says, I want to put final nail in the coffin on the question because I'm tired of it at this point. I realize AJ asked this topic. Before RGT starts reviewing Balan Wonderworld as he promised, what overall thoughts on the type of person Yuji Naka really is as more details came out this week?
What were the new details?
He got arrested for insider
arrested again, right?
Arrested again. He did some insider trading. He was trying to make some money off of something. Look, Martha Stewart she's in prison. Everybody likes Martha Stewart. So we shouldn't judge him based on that completely.
I mean, it's shit happens, bro.
He's got to go through his trial still, and then
Yeah.
then we can go to Sean and get a follow up from him.
Free Yuji Naka.
Also, one of his team members came forward during the investigation to point out how bad his leadership was during the development of Balan.
Snitching.
You might want to read up on that, Sean.
I'm actually shocked. His leadership was bad during that game. No way.
I actually believe that.
Yeah, that's believable.
Based on the game. Zoob says my PS4 broke down and can no longer get past safe mode. A few questions. If I want to replace it with a PS5, is it worth waiting for the inevitable slim model? I'd prefer to get a regular PS5. I would just get the regular one as soon as you can, because the one that comes down the line, we don't know anything about it. We know about the PS5 currently, and it's a good system in terms of overall build quality and stuff, especially if you can get even a launch model. It just has an extra like 3 pounds of copper in it. So there you go. Is it better to take my PS4 for repairs or sell it? The error says we need to load firmware from a USB device. Your hard drive might just be bad.
Yeah, could be.
You put a new hard drive in there and just download the firmware on PlayStation's website, put it on USB stick, pop it in. That might be it.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, if you're booting into save mode all the time, maybe you just need to replace the hard drive.
Yeah, you can get a 2.5-inch laptop drive off Amazon. Might as well get like a 1 or 2 terabyte. Drop it in, and then just go through the steps on Sony's website for loading the firmware from scratch. It should be almost like a gigabyte file. Okay, so it's not the smaller update file. You want the larger one, but it's very easy to do. Should I rush the aforementioned process because I am mid playthrough for God of War Ragnarok? Please note I have been streaming it to Twitch 1 chapter a week, but I don't actually have any viewers. I would rush the. It's kind of a Ragnarok is pretty good on the PS5 though compared to the PS4. I mean, if you can just get a PS5 now, I'd make the jump. It seems like the universe is telling you to make the jump. Eric says biggest pet peeve being a content creator on YouTube.
Comments being left that have no idea about how things actually are behind the scenes and claim they, you're doing it wrong or this or that. It's like, if only you know.
Wait, people don't understand stuff?
Yeah, it's just because it's like it just goes to a back and forth. They're like, well, this is what I know. It's like, but you don't know. You don't.
I think the biggest thing is, for me, is like the narrative that it's not a real job and all that bullshit, even though we all bust our ass to make content and you got to pay taxes on your earnings, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I think that's probably my biggest thing. It's like, get a real job. Yeah, it is a real job. I mean, we're working our asses off.
You got a real job, MVG. You shouldn't be offended by that.
No, I'm not offended by it, but like I just see that a lot, and I think that it's not the right take at the end of the day.
No, I know. I was just saying that because I'm just saying you got dual jobs. I don't care. People can say that to me all they want. I'm like, you think it's not a real job? That's fine by me. Like I said, I just wish the government felt the same way. I say I agree.
Yeah, I need that in writing.
Wish it wasn't a.
Let's get the petition going for the IRS.
Please, I beg of you guys to please let the FTC. Keep telling them this shit ain't real. I want them to not classify it as a job. Like dead ass. I'm serious. Please let this not be a job. That's the one thing that I want. It's just to not be a real job.
Let me go over here real quick to some of the super chats before we talk about the final topic. This is from Jack. Says OJ is the king of RPG content. Fight me. I don't know why he wants you to fight him, OJ, after complimenting you, but all right.
I'm talking to other people, like fight me as in like other people, like nah, he's hey, look, I try. I like.
I don't know. There was a comma in there. I don't know. It seemed like a sentence that kept going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks for the support.
Thanks, Jack.
It.
DJ says, if you think about it, that moment fits with Elden Ring because just when Miyazaki thought he won, he gets invaded by an evil spirit. All right, yeah, that was a meme. I saw people doing that. They
pretty funny, those memes.
They made the person glow red and it was behind them like he's invading. Anna Studio says, I unsubscribed from Xbox Game Pass after the Game Awards.
Dang.
Yeah, we're actually going to talk about that in a minute with the FTC stuff because that was something that was brought up there. I Live for Retro says, has anyone checked out the Unreal Air AR glasses? I have not.
They emailed me about it, but I never responded. I didn't really know what was
augmented reality.
Yeah, I don't know. Sounds a little
Little
And
trippy for
I'll at
me.
least look at it to see what the deal is there on Google. The gaming says Sonic is the true player's choice. Hey, Sonic fans took a shot. Genshin Impact was a little too much.
Well, they said once we got rid of the fake votes, it's like, well, how the fuck do you determine that?
I heard there was
All the fake votes are the Sonic.
that was getting wild. People were saying there was bribery and stuff going on.
But like Genshin Impact, isn't that audience kind of like cutthroat similar?
Well, it's
to that?
massive.
Like,
It's also
I mean,
massive.
they're cutthroat, but the way you get rid of fake votes in a lot of these things is track where the IPs come from. Because if it's coming from a server farm, those are usually fake votes.
You ever notice on Twitter, whenever I always know that something new happened in Genshin because I look to the right and it's like Genshin Impact trending 180,000 tweets. And I'm like, whoa, it's that. It's a big audience on that game. Zoob says, update on my Discord question. I bought a flash drive to fix my PS4. It will arrive Monday. Oh, good, Zoob. Good. It's not difficult, Zoob, I promise. He's got to follow the instructions, the folder structure, and you should be able to fix it. Vaughn says,
watch that Swanway video where he's got a hammer and a PS4 as the can't go wrong.
Yeah. Vaughn says the EU regulator said the FTC was incorrect. Yeah, we can touch on that too. Edison says, do you guys think Sony will bring Infamous Second Son to PC one day? They need to do something with Infamous in general. Even if they get the first two and move them up to the PS5 or PS5, that would be great. Raz says, what teams you guys cheering for in the World Cup since US is out? I'm betting on France to take it all. All right, MVG, hit us. Who are you cheering for?
Ooh, so today was tough because Portugal, Nate's team got eliminated, and England, my team got eliminated. So
man.
I think it's France now, and probably France and Argentina for the final. And I think France would probably take it, and they won 4 years ago, so they'll go back to back.
Wow. Okay. What about you, Nate? Good stuff.
World Cup doesn't matter anymore.
Portugal.
World Cup. Oh, that's right. Nate's hurt right now. It just
Portugal's
happened a
out.
couple hours
World
ago.
Cup's canceled.
It hurts, man.
It's
Jeez.
all over. But
Yeah.
I'll probably, see Argentina, see Messi potentially win. I think that'd be a good thing for the sport.
Okay. Truly Epic says, just got a Steam Deck, and I'm wondering what are some of the best accessories for it besides a battery bank. They already give you a case, so that eliminates the most needed accessory right away.
The dock is nice.
What other?
Get that.
The dock is good. They've been working on that a bit more as we've gone along to try to fix it up some with the compatibility and resolution and all this.
But didn't they pretty much say that they can't do anything for resolution with the main dock? So there's like no real point in buying it. Like it's just the same as like the Juice one.
I think for the most part you'll get the same kind of experience. Something about just the official dock, just in case they actually figure stuff out. I don't know. It's just.
I mean, I think for me it's more about having. I mean, and you can get these like cheap aftermarket like devices as well. But for me, it's like being able to plug in a mouse and keyboard, especially if you want to set up like emulators and stuff.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier.
Otherwise, though, a nice big battery bank if you go on a trip. that's about it, really. The Steam Deck's actually pretty solid out of the box, and I guess an SD card if you have the smaller sized one. Liam says, when Bill Clinton has a better chance of winning a game of the year than Nintendo, that's wild. Hey, next year we have Zelda versus Final Fantasy versus Resident Evil. Wow, that would be an interesting lineup maybe next year.
That'd be a good one. I'm here for that.
Oh, Max is here. Max, what's up?
Hey, sorry, I'm super late doing movie night with the kiddos. But yeah, hey, so what was the final rating? How did everybody feel about the TGAs? Sorry, I'm here at the very end.
What was our final rating on it? I would give the show a solid B.
Yeah,
I gave it a B.
Same. I thought it was actually better than last year, and it surprised me. Even Christopher Judge aside, I thought the pacing was pretty good, and I thought there were enough really good announcements to actually make it a lot better than last year's show.
I'll say a B-.
Okay. Tijo says, I wish God of War Ragnarok didn't steal best music from Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but I'm glad it got nominated at all. Same with Game of the Year. I'm surprised they played the Weight of Life rather than A Life Sent On, though.
It stole it from Elden Ring.
Stole it from Elden Ring?
Yeah, it didn't steal it from Xenoblade.
Yeah, Elden Ring has legit.
Elden Ring was
music.
the highest vote for that one.
Xenoblade had some.
I'll take Xenoblade.
There was a comparison because I like Xenoblade.
There is a comparison though. 140 tracks, 12 hours plus of music. By far the
quantity
most.
over quality.
The quality in Xenoblade's incredible.
Nah.
Is the Monado in the third game or not?
The
all I know
quality
is
of Xenoblade's track is Are you trying to tell me that the quality's not good in the music? That's crazy.
I'm trolling. It's good music. I just like to fucking.
all I know
It's
is
incredible.
that Xenoblade music seemed to wake something up in Fluke Guy. I don't know. Howard, that was crazy. This is for I meant didn't steal. This is from T-Joe. Mr. Super says Xenoblade 3 got snubbed for best RPG. Problem was Elden Ring was there.
Yeah, that's the
That was
problem.
the problem, Mr. Super. Elden Ring was an unstoppable force for the most part. Steven says Castlevania is back as DLC for Dead Cells. Nate, please give any update on the rumor Castlevania game you mentioned before.
I have nothing new on that project. It remains in active development, and hopefully Konami is able to announce it in the near future.
There you go. Doom says, did Click rig the awards to get Splatoon 3 to win? No, Splatoon 3 is just a very good multiplayer game.
It was just up against
That's about
games that I thought Call of Duty could win. I thought Call of Duty was going to win, but it didn't. So
yeah, Splatoon 3 took it. There you go.
Overwatch messed up their launch. Like Overwatch 2 messed up their launch. So I think if Overwatch launched a bit more solid, I think that could have won it.
Mr. Job says, anyone on the podcast played Portal with RTX? I think it looks great and the game holds up well. I haven't checked that out yet. MVG is the one with the cool card.
I checked out Quake RTX that came out recently. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I haven't checked out Portal. And I know they're doing one for Half-Life as well, like the original Half-Life. That'll be interesting to check out too.
Oh, interesting. I might actually check that one out. That would be cool. Okay. Zoop says, Ghost Story Games. Ghost Story Games is real. Bradley says, super hyped for Hades 2. FTL was my introduction to indies years ago. What is everyone's favorite indie and what was their first indie? Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I think Indiana Jones 1 is really good, and the third one also.
Thank you,
for sure.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. Man, I'm trying. What was my first indie game? My gosh,
mine's has got to be Castle Crashers.
I was gonna say Castle Crashers. Man, that was
Hextech or Castle Marble. Was it Marble game? Not Marble Madness. Marble Blast, I think, or something like that, or on the Xbox Live Arcade stuff.
I remember the Xbox Live Arcade. Castle Crashers was so good.
Does Geometry Wars count?
Yeah,
or is that too high?
I think it counts.
I think that counts. Yeah.
I think World of Goo, maybe on the Wii.
Okay.
Something like that.
Was it Mr. Splosion Man?
Yeah, Mr. Splosion. What was Super Meat Boy? Super Meat Boy or Braid or something like that. There's something like that. I don't know. One of those like Xbox Live. Or what was like on the original Xbox? There was like Xbox Live Arcade. I know I played some crap on there.
What was Wars? Oh, anyone have a favorite indie game they want to throw out?
Death Stranding.
Up there.
Is it not an indie game?
I mean, you're technically right.
No, it's not an indie game.
Kojima Productions, man.
It's an indie game with a big
budget. Published by Sony.
Hey,
it's like saying Bayonetta 3 is an indie game.
Depending on how loose we want to be with these terms.
That's what, if you count it as like the studio itself, yeah, I guess.
TJ says, is anyone else battling Valve's technical screw-ups when trying to get a Steam Deck during the game advertisements? Sadly, I didn't win one. Yeah, I was doing some weird stuff. At one point, it just stopped saying people's names and definitely just put out their number in the queue. It was just like a 13-digit number that went up, and it's like, congratulations, 788341823-1. It's like, oh, great, that's me. So it was strange. Rojo says, shout out to Jordan for the long Jimmy Neutron video. Been binging your videos all day.
Oh, appreciate it. I put out my longest video ever today, a 3.5 hour video. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Jesus.
Very nice,
man. Good.
Let's move over to our last topic, and we have a few other super chats to finish up afterwards. The FTC has announced that they are moving to block. They're suing the Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition. And this, I realized something. It wasn't a great week for Xbox. I look back on it, I'm like, man, they moved game prices up to 70 at the beginning of the week. They had that whole thing. FTC moves to block their deal. Then they weren't at the Game Awards, and then like a lot of Xbox fans online got really annoyed about that. So Microsoft
Phil didn't look very happy at the
He looked really annoyed being there. He's like, what are we doing here right now? Like, if that's what it was, right? It's like, I'm here to see the awards. Nothing is up that we have. we're not showing anything, and the FTC won't leave us alone. And I gotta sit here while this camera's on me. It did kind of look like that. I don't know, but the FTC's moving the block. Actually, what do we think? Real quick, what do we think about them not being at the Game Awards? Because one of the reasons that was brought up is that they had to look weak because the FTC was probing and then moved to block.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
One, they have the internal document, so they would know what's planned. So them coming out and dating a game isn't all of a sudden going to reveal something to the FTC that they don't already know.
Right.
I think it's just the easy excuse for the public to use to try to justify a very confusing decision made by Microsoft.
But
yeah, them not being at the Game Awards is what. That's the company going into it. We were talking about it like during the pre-show, and I'm like, nah, Microsoft's got to be here. They're going to date Redfall. They're going to date Force something. They didn't do anything. Like just nothing. It was very, very weird. I think they actually showed a commercial with Ninja. I think.
Yeah, but other than Game Pass, they did Game Pass marketing, but they didn't show. I mean, they showed new patches for Halo Infinite and nothing else new.
Yeah, they bought ad space. I was about it. I mean, Nintendo showed stuff, Sony showed stuff.
So what that means, though, the more important thing is what that means is that they're going to have their own, like, what do they call them? The Nintendo XO. They're gonna have their own events, maybe.
In I think they must have one for January. That's the only way this makes sense.
That's February.
The rumor right now and some of the background talk is that they're planning something for as early as January.
Okay.
They need it.
So there you go.
So, and I think at this point, if you're Microsoft, we're going into this is where for them the Xbox Series generation really starts. Let's be real.
Nate, if that's true, don't you think there's a responsibility to their fans to basically let them know that, hey, listen, we don't have anything at the Game Awards, but in January or February, early next year, we're gonna circle back and have something. So just stay tuned. But they didn't do any of that.
Yeah, I think they made a similar mistake as they did in June, where had they come out earlier this week and said, we're going to have Phil Spencer will be in attendance at the Game Awards. We're going to celebrate the industry together. We won't have any new announcements. You would have set the tone. The expectation was there. Just like we saw in June, where they didn't set that expectation prior to the show of, we're just going to show the next 12 months. You saw Aaron Greenberg go out on Twitter today, say, oh, we have stuff for 2023. TGA just didn't align with the timing for us to make announcements. That's a statement you make before the show, not after.
I wonder if they weren't allowed to.
There's no reason they couldn't be allowed to.
Well, what if Keeley had some sort of thing where he asked people like, hey, let me have my one drop of hype or some shit. I don't know, some contract.
I mean, I thought that would be a terrible clause for anyone to agree to.
Greenberg's thing, Broken Games called out Greenberg pretty good today on Twitter because he's been saying that for the last 4 years. I thought that was a pretty interesting tweet.
It was funny. I thought it was kind of. I guess you could say 1 year, 2021, that kind of held true. But yeah, a couple of the years they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, it's coming. But
yeah, and that would have really helped Microsoft just to get ahead of it. And you don't even have to announce if you have an event coming in January or February. You could have just ended. We look forward to sharing more with you in 2023. And that was the thing going into the show is that we know, based on their June presentation, that they are looking to release 3 big games in the first half of 2023 with Redfall, Forza, and Starfield. So you would have figured out of those 3, at least one would have got a release date during the Game Awards. It fits
what's first
patterns for Microsoft, and the timing would just make sense, assuming that you have one of those 3 coming out.
Which game comes out first, do you think?
I would say
Forza.
Redfall.
I say Forza.
Oh, okay. So you got Forza Spring 2023 is what they have it marked currently on their website.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's spring, Forza, summer, Redfall, winter, Starfield.
Oh, I know. Okay, so I had this thought too.
Right.
So you think their show from last June, which was only the next 12 months, is lying, and Starfield will fall out of the 12 months?
It's not lying, Nate. It's not lying. It's just things fall out, right? Like I feel like Starfield for me is a holiday game.
Kind of feel like it might be too. I think it's going to be they're going to have to say something about it, but I feel like it's going to be like, hey, a little more time.
Nate, it's the information that were given at the time. And I think things have changed since then. Like, I feel like Starfield has to be rock solid, and I feel like they want to drop it in the winter.
But at the time when they delayed the game, they came out and said this would be first half 2020.
They did say first half. It says
they
it
committed
right
to that again. If they delay a second time on a committed date,
Yeah, that's rough.
That's cause of concern.
I just don't feel like
is, but
Starfield's
yeah.
a June game, man. Like I feel like it's a winter game. If it's a November game or a September game or October game, something like that.
You don't think
It's
right
not
now?
first half.
You don't think right now Microsoft is potentially looking at their holiday of 2023 to be, Call of Duty? They're looking for that deal to be done. Call of Duty would be their flagship Game Pass release for the holiday.
Well, yeah, but then they'd probably have something else there too, not just Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, in this scenario, you're saying they would have Starfield go next.
Yeah, they'd be Star. I mean, let's say they actually keep it first half, right? I think they do Redfall, Forza, then Starfield. Redfall might be a March release or something. Forza maybe into like May, and then you push out Starfield in June.
Yeah.
Which, that'd be pretty crowded. But then you get in the second half. Sure, they could have Call of Duty, and then maybe, I don't know, one of their other games that we've already seen shows up for the second
hope
half.
would likely to have Hellblade 2 ready in time for holiday, but that could easily fall to early 2024 as well.
I mean, all it takes is one tweet to say, we said that Starfield was coming in the next 12 months, but we've had to, push it for the holiday or something.
Well, and I feel like people would be pretty understanding. I feel like if you have an Xbox now, you're probably just sitting on your hands anyways. If they say, hey, 4 more months of development for the first exclusive Bethesda game, people would still do it.
I don't buy the FTC thing though, because this FTC situation, now that it could potentially work its way up the ladder in the courts, they might miss their 2023 expectation where they said June, I believe, is the latest that this thing will be closed by. They might miss that. They might have to extend it further. I don't know how that works behind the scenes with Activision Blizzard, but that sounds like this could be something that finds its way into 2024 before it's complete.
I mean, what are the odds of what are the odds of this falling apart? I mean, it sounds like they want Call of Duty. I'm curious if they don't hit the June date, I wonder if they'll approach and say, "Hey, how much can we give you 10 billion just for Call of Duty? Break that shit off for us."
I kind of think FTC, they've already been like even the EU's now like, hold on, what's the FTC say? Hold on, they mentioned something about Bethesda and ZeniMax and how Microsoft was going to keep all these games, like, and they broke the promise of things like Starfield and Redfall, and it's like, well, no, hold on, we kept the games that were already on the other platforms there. These games didn't have announced platforms, and Redfall wasn't even announced when the deal closed. We announced that, and it's an Xbox game, and the EU kind of had to correct the FTC, we'll say. So the FTC already looks kind of shaky, and it does look like this is, Nate, I think you said at one point in the podcast or something, it looks like posturing on their side, just to be like, look, we're just going to stand here and let this walk right by, just in case we need an example, basically.
They need to show strength and to show the entire industry, specifically the tech industry, that we're not going to let these type of deals go through frictionless. And we saw a deal go through with very little resistance when Microsoft bought ZeniMax. It really didn't face much scrutiny. Now the FTC is looking at that in retrospect, saying, we probably should have looked tougher. And now they're using this for whatever reason to show their strength. But they're not picking a great battle here.
No.
They're actually looking somewhat incompetent now that you had the EU come out and say, that's not true. You're misleading of what was actually said. And they can take this to court. With what they have, based on everything that we've seen and heard from these documents, they really don't have a good case. Because the FTC's whole philosophy is, we are here to protect consumers. But a lot of the wording that's coming out of this, it feels as though they're trying to protect the brands and prevent competition. If you're here to protect the consumer, what are you standing on to protect the consumer from with this deal? And you can look back, Microsoft has a very shady past. Back in the 90s, they were cutthroat in what they did, and they came very close to being broken up in the early 2000s. Maybe this is a bit of, revenge.
That's the key thing right there. I think the FTC has, I'm not saying they're suspicious, but like, you're right, Nate, Microsoft does have a past with this stuff. And it's not always been pretty for them. And I think look, FTC is doing their job. It's at the end of the day, if they want to do this, that they have every right to. I think the deal is still going to happen. it's really about the concessions that Microsoft give up to make it go through. But I think the deal's done. It's just a matter of when.
All right. It's not looking great on the FTC side when the EU comes out and is like conflicting against them. So it looks shaky. I'll say that. But my thoughts more, how long is this going to extend the length of time to close this deal? Because that would be, I think, more of a problem for Microsoft. Because if it misses that 2023 expected time of June, then it's like, oh, now we got to go in 2024.
I believe the FTC put another date of like August.
Okay.
On it for a hearing, which, I mean, if you're Microsoft, you're definitely going to be looking at that saying, if you guys are going to drag this out.
Yeah, that might be the FTC's plan. It could, really, it could go years technically. It's just, we don't know. So that's, that could be a problem. And then the 10-year deal starts. So, hey, the next Nintendo system might be here before they even close it anyway. So there you go. We will see. Just want to go over to the super chats as we finish up here. There's still a bunch to get through, and then we will go over to Sean's channel for his RGT Live for the after show. So we'll go through these now. This is from Perfect saying, hey guys, I know the panelists don't want to talk about it, but Nintendo took the 10-year contract because there's another Switch from a techie COD can support it mobile. What you guys think?
Hey,
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah,
could be.
I think if the deal doesn't close until there's another Switch, they just go for that one, and the current Switch just isn't even. I mean, it's going to take them probably a year or two to develop anyway, to the point where they could show it. So just onward to the next system at that point if it doesn't close till 2024. Cedric says Skater XL was announced for Switch on April 22nd, 2020. It sure was, and nothing has happened. In fact, I think Session got rated the other week or two ago, a month ago. So Session might make it there before Skater XL on the Switch. Mm-hmm. Jeffrey says Bayonetta Origins. RGT kids have a game to play. I'm absolutely shocked. Not everything should be geared towards adults at the Game Awards. Yeah, Sean.
Because that's a great idea to get kids into Bayonetta.
Yeah, I don't think the game is particularly targeting children. Yeah.
God of War Origins next.
Gonna win the best family game next year.
God of War Origins. God of War Origins already happened. It's called God of War Ascension.
And Ghost of Sparta.
Exactly.
Joshua says, would you guys still make sporadic videos and content as a hobby on YouTube if you ever decided to change jobs?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
I've always said, even if I won the lottery, I'd keep reviewing games.
It would probably just be less videos, but yes, I would.
I was making videos. When I first started making videos on YouTube, it wasn't for any money. It was just like, hey, this is cool. I didn't even know you could make money. I don't know if there was even a way. Back in like 2010, I didn't know any way. I was just like, hey, this sounds cool. I want to talk about Prototype and Infamous. That's literally what I thought in my mind. I was like, okay. And then I think I did some like exercise videos. I wasn't even worried about money.
Secretly, so did I. I have old exercise videos that are terrible.
Oh yeah, me too. Mine are terrible. Mine are
Nacho says, look up Phantom Fury. It's modeled after Duke 2001. Blam says, why are we not talking about Earthblade? Well, we talked about it, Blam, a bit. They just didn't show a ton. And then they also followed up and say Nick sucks with an X.
Fuck you. 8th place. 500 record.
Kasuni says, big news, Reuters, big financial agency in Europe just said that EU is asking FTC to remove their EC statement from the lawsuit against Microsoft. FTC now has nothing to go on. Well, I mean, if you look at the lawsuit, they point out a bunch of stuff, but that does not help things when another agency is asking to remove parts of their argument. So, yeah. Z says, what car do you guys drive? I have a Mazda SUV. Go ahead, Sean. Tell everyone about your cool cars.
I have a Pinto and a secondary Pinto that's in the shop.
I ride a bike. Pinto. I literally don't own a car.
Okay, there you go. DJ says, from the 3 big platform holders, which dormant IP would you like to see come back from each of them? Oh, and each of them? How dormant is that? I don't know. trying to think of what's like will be considered dormant, like it's like gone. Like because I would love to see Kid Icarus get ported to the Switch, but that's not really dormant because it's out on the 3DS.
Fox count? Because I'll take that.
Right.
I was
Kind of.
Star Fox.
I'll count Star Fox.
Is that really
Star
dormant?
Fox.
Came out on the Wii.
Yes.
We don't count that version. We don't count that version.
2015.
That's ancient history, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Resistance came out at the launch of PlayStation 4 and never again. I would love another Resistance game.
Shout out to Andrew who says, what about a Call of Duty cloud version? They could do that.
There was a Resistance on PS4. There was no Resistance.
You're
on
thinking
PS4.
of Killzone.
Killzone.
Yeah, you're thinking of
God,
Killzone,
you're right,
yeah.
I am.
I was thinking like, what
The
Resistance
Resistance
game have
for
I not
sure, yeah.
played?
Well, no, the last Resistance game came out on Vita, which was in tandem with the PS4, right?
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, the last console one though was Resistance 3, which I liked.
I love that game.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
This is from Jonathan says, just beat Ragnarok. It was awesome. What game should I play next on my PS5? Cyberpunk 2077 or Horizon Forbidden West? I'm going to say Horizon.
Horizon.
Saying Horizon. Horizon.
Compared
And
to
you got the
that
DLC
DLC.
coming up too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Horizon's a very good game. Cristobal says, better VGAs this year. Crime Boss shows potential. Something different than Rockstar. I hope their budget didn't all go to celebrity casting. Well, we will find out, Cristobal. I'm kind of now picturing a Payday type game.
There's 6 minutes of gameplay
Oh,
footage
okay.
out there.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
It
And
kind of
it's-
looks like Payday.
Steven
Steven says Yender is over Yender. Okay. Zoop says Magic Nail Polish sounds awesome.
Are you talking about for Forspoken? Yeah.
Rich says, would it be dumb to try to get into Death Stranding 1 now? It would not. You can
Nope.
jump into it now. SLM says, RGT, why didn't you invite OJ to the VGA stream?
Because he was streaming.
I figure it's because OJ was streaming. I figure that's why he did it. Sean was like, I'm streaming this. Here's a Discord link. Jump in if you want. And then he just left. And it was like, okay. So people were just popping in and out of Sean's stream like left and right. It was just the Wild West over there. OJ's very structured on his side.
Yeah.
I don't know. People were saying, why aren't you hopping in over there? I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't invited.
You gotta be careful with Sean. Sean's a.
I said I wasn't invited. I was like, I'm just gonna stay here. I
You were
I
already
didn't know.
live. I'm
What?
not gonna take away your bread.
No, it was fine. I'm not upset. They were
You
just
guys
like,
could
oh,
co-stream it, or he could. Well, no, actually, hold on. You gotta be careful with Sean on your main channel.
No, I'm just saying, hey, look, I didn't mind people were asking me why didn't I go over there? Everyone else is there. You're not. They didn't invite you. I'm like, no, people are trying to make drama out of it. I'm like, no, that's not it. I don't know what was going on. So I'm just letting them stream. It's fine. We're all streaming the same thing. It's all good. It's all good.
Hey, if you want to chance it, Sean's more than willing to roll the dice on your channel too. You get to technically stream it at the same time with commentary. Just get that mute button. Get that 10-second delay.
Yeah.
You were actually pretty good. I'll give you that. You were pretty good. And there's only like maybe 2 moments. I don't know. And I think those kind of went by the wayside anyway because everyone was kind of talking at the same time.
Yeah, I think my jokes were edgier than his were. And they also landed.
I would agree with that. Soup says, plot twist, June Kazuma lives. Demolition says, Bayonetta Origins has a demo inside Bayonetta 3. It is short and gameplay is unique. Game Explain has a video showing how to unlock it. There you go.
$60 unique.
Zoom says, I only play Diablo if Bobby is fired. Then we have Alejandro says, anyone on the cast going to check out Witcher 3 next gen update? I thought about it, but I'm just playing so much stuff right now. Witcher 3 is such a commitment.
I'm playing it right now, actually. I have it early.
I would like to go back and check it out.
I played and finished it. I'm good. I'm not going back to that game.
Dark Dream says, TGA wasn't bad. Armored Core 6 trailer was the best shown. Hope for more Alan Wake 2. Shadow and Happiness nearly for Judas. Many hopes others had surely based off typical rumors and leaks, like BB. Bloodborne. Deathblow says, the hideousness of Jordan's mustache will haunt my dreams forever.
Well, I'm glad you
Jordan, are you
paid money to Spawn to tell me I'm ugly, so that's fine.
Well, he didn't tell you you're ugly because nobody would say that has eyes.
Oh no, they
He just mentioned the mustache, but I like the mustache, so don't worry about him.
No, hey, listen, I disagree. I don't like it either, but it is what it is.
Let's touch our mustaches, but not our lips, because that'd be weird. Just the
No,
mustaches.
I'm good. You can back that thing up real quick.
Tommy says, don't think I've forgotten the time Spawnwave called the 2020 Game Awards a pretty fun night and ignored the disappointment people had with the show.
What?
Damn.
I like
we shit all over it, didn't we?
The Game Awards 2020 included Sephiroth coming to Smash, Perfect Dark, Mass Effect, Flight Simulator, Series X, Back 4 Blood,
really there.
Arc 2, Dragon Age.
Arc
Let's
2.
see. There's It Takes Two, which, by the way, won Game of the Year the following year. Just saying.
Did you really just say Arc 2?
Hey, it was there. Vin Diesel was riding a dinosaur.
You just said that.
Evil West, the Callisto Protocol was announced there, and some people on this panel think it might win Game of the Year 3 years in a row coming. And I think that was it. So yeah, I mean that seems like a pretty fun night. You wouldn't take that as an awards show set of announcements right there.
No.
Dragon Age,
paper,
Mass Effect, Callisto.
That's a really good lineup, but the problem is that show was like fucking 4 hours long. And
That's why I called it a pretty fun night.
The show.
I called it a pretty fun night.
The streams are fun. I mean, even if I don't like the games, I still think it's a fun night just because there's awards, there's whatever. People are so even if it sucks, it's still fun. Like you get like the Oscars stuff. I mean, I think that show sucked too, right? But that was fun. So I don't know. That's just kind of how I see it. Still a fun night.
Matthew says Bill Clinton is proof we deserve a better awards show. Keeley's show has been taken over by Hollywood. Hellman says Sonic 2 will match the Mario movie box office. I don't think so. I think the Mario movie is going to do some crazy numbers, I think.
Gonna blow it out of the water.
Geeky Gaming Family says security was unacceptable. YouTuber Christina Grimmie was killed by an obsessed fan at a concert years ago. That could have happened at this show too. And Jeff has to get that security figured out next year.
Mm-hmm.
Reese says all my games are face out. Was hilarious. MVG, well done. There's like a GameStop in there. Yeah. Reese says, "Hey OJ, how about them Cowboys?
How about them?
Xbox lost PlayStation 1. Says Capcom clearly picked that box art for Street Fighter 6, so we forced to go digital. Genius, really. How's Sean's 190E? All I think about these days. That did not go the direction I thought. Okay. How's your 190, Sean?
It's in the shop. Hopefully in a couple days I'll get a list of things that need to be done. So we'll see.
Yum says, I bet they will announce the Switch 2 months before the release of Tears of the Kingdom, then put it same day the special edition of the Switch OLED Tears of the Kingdom. That is high hopes there. High hopes. Doggy says, anecdotes can postulate myths. Believe it or not, studies show the average COD player is in fact in his 20s, not so different from Nintendo players. There you go.
Ooh, suck it, John.
Shinru says on OGR. Hey, I've been in those chat rooms, on Call of Duty where you unmute the mic and it's like, okay, this is
your kids yelling in the background though.
Yeah. Shinru says on OG Hardware, which game has aged better, Halo CE or Metroid Prime? Great content as always, everyone. I would say probably Metroid Prime if you put them next to each other. Metroid Prime still looks pretty good.
I would say Metroid Prime as well. That game still looks really fucking good.
And it runs at 60.
Yep. And on a CRT, oh my God, it's ridiculous how good that game looks.
Just a few left. Let me go around. We'll start with Jordan Fringe. Jordan Fringe, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channels, Jordan Fringe or Jordan Fringe Gaming. I'm still in Fringemas, so a video every single day on the main channel up until Christmas. Today I put out my biggest video yet, which is 3.5 hours long, talking about Jimmy Neutron. So if that interests you, go check it out. Wow. Thanks for having me.
Delt says, do you guys think we will reach a point where the base current gen consoles will only be able to play games at 20 to 30 FPS on low resolution like last gen's base consoles? I kind of feel like we're sort of there with the Xbox One VCR. You mean the PS5 and the Xbox Series? Probably, yeah. I'm sure in like 7 years or something, it'll be, or even 6 years, it'll be doing that. Lewis says, Splatoon over MW2 hurt my soul. No voice chat. Hey, it comes down to the game. Gameplay is there. On a Ship says, the fixture S2 is finally out. I couldn't be happier. Missed playing my Switch on my Pro Controller. Appreciate all of you guys' content and hard work. Sobo says, compared to Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition and 2 and 3's music is pretty meh. I think 3 is really, 3 is really good.
I think 3 has incredibly good music, in my opinion. But everybody has their opinions in terms of how the music is. But I don't know. I think it's really good.
Snap, it's Tom from Toonami. They say this move by the FTC is just giving time and reason to CMA EU to block as well. The FTC thinking it's is if one or both of them move to block as well, Microsoft probably eats the $2 billion and moves on. Microsoft seems like they're ready to fight. I don't know. We'll see about that one. MVG, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. You can find me at Twitter at ModernVintageG and YouTube Modern Vintage Gamer. Nate and I will probably have a video out next week as well on his channel. And I have a video coming out on Monday. Thanks for having me on.
Let's see. OJ, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. I've got some cool RPG videos coming up, some Nintendo Switch stuff as well. Got a big video on Final Fantasy 16 that I want to do, Crisis Core, Dragon Quest Treasures. So if you're into RPGs or into Nintendo content, check out the channel. And I stream daily too. So videos pretty much every day and streaming almost daily, 6 days, 5 to 6 days out of the week. So yeah, subscribe.
Okay, and let's go over to Max, Dreamcast guy.
YouTube.com/Dreamcast guy. I've reviewed pretty much every game ever this month already. I've beaten Crisis Core, Callisto Protocol. I have a big video going up Monday morning. I'm allowed to talk about the next gen patch for Witcher 3. I'm playing it on PlayStation 5, so go subscribe.
Okay, very good. And let's go over to Nate.
Yes, you can find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate. As MVG said, we will have a new episode available next week. So that's something people can look forward to.
Okay. Oh, shout out to Roger's Base in the chat.
Yo, Roger's in the chat. Let's go.
Roger.
Yeah, Roger's Base in the chat. Shout out to Roger.
Yeah.
Shout out to Roger.
Yo, what's up, Roger?
And we got to go to Evan.
What's up?
You want to tell people where they can find you? Just in case you go missing.
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on Twitter at Chemrix Project. I'm probably not streaming this month, mostly, because, LAN. Super fun.
I was just kidding. Okay, that's fine.
Is it really a month-long LAN party?
There's a little bit of a gap.
What about the shirt?
I like it.
Yeah,
I
I
like
was about
it.
to say, you
Let's go.
have 4 weeks left on the shirt, and you're going to be gone for a month.
The file's on my tablet. I will be working on it.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Responsible.
okay.
Responsible. We love that.
I'm doing
King.
this from here. I'm
He
keeping
is. Yeah, he's got the legit internet now.
No one ever questioned Evan, all right?
Yeah.
Evan has true commitment.
Ryuket says, John, will Tekken 8 be the game that finally gets you into fighting games? Can we hope for an Armored Core collection for the mainline games in the future? The Armored Core games from back in the day are going to, I think, control so much differently than the new one that they'll probably be like, don't worry about those. Look at the new one. But Tekken 8, I don't know. Maybe it's the 8th one. Do I have to play the other 7 to know what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You don't.
Jared says, does RGT 85 hold world record for Bubble Bobble?
I do not.
Oh. And then they say you should review Garfield Lasagna Party.
You should give me money if you want me to review Garfield.
Hey, Sean's going live. You can go tell him to play Garfield there. Adam says, got the platinum for Ragnarok yesterday. Had a good time with the game. I was curious to why Nate won't try the game.
No jump button.
I will eventually play the game. It's just not a game I want to get at the moment at launch because I had other stuff I was playing. I'll get it
like
when it goes
Forspoken.
on. No, I'm not going to buy Forspoken.
No, you're playing
Ragnarok.
Forspoken now.
No. When it goes on sale, when Ragnarok hits like $50 or $40, I'll pick it up and I'll play it, or I'll give it a college try to see if it resonates with me more than 2018 did.
Then Garrett says RGT 85 versus Garfield Lasagna Party. Make it happen.
You're giving the money to the wrong person.
Are you going to make it happen?
If the funds get diverted, we might be able to talk about things. But
Sean's about to go live soon in the after show. Let me just double check the Streamlabs stuff to make sure I got see. Look, Mr. Stud Muffin says attended the Game Awards in person. It was super fun. The Bill Clinton moment felt a lot longer and more awkward in person. Everyone was super confused as to what just happened. Same thing with the streams. DMAX says love the cast. MVG is the GOAT. And
True.
Ricky
Accurate.
says, hi guys, do you have any good stereo soundbar recommendation for my TV and PS5 setup? I have a Samsung one. I don't know what the model is. Go on, OJ. Sorry.
I have a no, you're good, dude. I have a Vizio Elevate. It's pricey, but damn, dude, it's a good sound bar. Well, it's a surround sound. It's a sound bar with a surround sound. It's really good. I've been using it. I like it a lot. So check that out. But it is a little pricey.
Dude, once you get a sound bar though, you can't go back to just the TV speakers. It's tough.
Oh yeah, the TV speak and like even with the LG, like the nice TVs, the speakers suck, man. Like they are terrible. So yeah, it's Vizio Elevate, or you can go with like there's like a model down or two, but the Vizio soundbars aren't bad. John, you said like the Samsung soundbars.
Samsung one, yeah.
I did a lot of research on it before I spent the money on it, and yeah, you can't go wrong with either one. But yeah, Vizio Elevate, if got a little bit more for it, you might want to just invest in that, because then you won't have to buy another one. You know, you won't have to buy another one after that. You'll be using that one for a long time.
Sean, do you want to let everyone know where they can find you as we work our way out here?
You can find us here. I put the link in the chat.
Joel says Jordan has an awesome channel. Just subscribe. Go on.
Appreciate you, Joel.
No, I said I'm done.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go check out Sean there. Have some people pop in and stuff over there. Should be fun. Thanks everyone for tuning in to the Spawncast. We will be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys then.
The love it, girls.